Hello everyone, welcome back to another Tomato Sauce stream. Today we're going to be playing in the Angel Cup, which is, quite normal. I think our Thursdays now is just always, and for a very long time has just been playing in the Angel Cup. This Angel Cup's going to be a little bit different, like nothing like crazy different, but there will be like some mild changes. And that is going to be that we have the new limit restriction changes in. So we're going to have, I guess, Harpies are going to be a little bit stronger. We're going to have Ice Arc being a little bit stronger. Vulcan will be a little bit stronger, but without the skill changes, that's going to be a bit weird. So we're probably not going to see that. I will say we are going to be playing a meme deck today. We're not playing like a deck we think is going to do well. Also, is this music too loud or is it just me? I think it's fine. But yeah, I'm not expecting to do well today, but it doesn't matter because when we do scrub out, we can immediately swap onto spectating. So we're having fun with that, which is always something fun because at the end of the day, playing in a tournament is like, it's nice, but like when you actually get to spectate, you get to see all the different decks, you get to really get a feel for like where the format's at, and I expect today we will be seeing at least a decent chunk of experimentation because of the new changes that are coming in. So we'll have to see what happens there. I doubt we're going to see Trike Fox make an appearance, but I guess you never know. There's always a chance that we might see Trike Fox. So we currently have 22 people signed up, which is a decent number. That's a decent number of entrants for a Japanese tournament. Obviously, a lot of the American players aren't going to be playing in this because it's kind of an awkward time for them. So it's basically just a lot of the Europeans that have the middle of the day free, and then, the JP bros who have their evening. So 22 is not too bad for that. And then the other thing that we do have is that we do have some new leaks, which is very exciting. We will be going over those after the tournament. I mean, spoilers, it's Printing Press Set and Forkhawk, and those cards are fine. Printing Press has been a bit of a meme for a while now, where we've been like, where is this card? When is it coming out? Like, are they waiting for the fusion? And, we have fusions just around the corner, so maybe releasing it now is the right time? We'll have to wait and see if we actually get its fusion monster anytime soon as well. On top of the fact, we also have the beginning of the KC Cup. So, no doubt, everyone, including all of the Rush players, are going to be on their speed accounts grinding out the rewards from the KC Cup, which I will also be doing as well. After we finish the tournament, and after we've been over the leaks, we will be hopping into some speed to try and grind out the first stage of the KC Cup. On our Rush account, I guess, is where we're going to want primarily the rewards. So we'll be doing a Rush grind first, but that is going to be with our Fluffle Orcus deck, so it's like old Fluffles. So, we'll have to see what happens there. But then after we have done that, we do then want to do it on our actual speed account, and we will be doing it with like proper Fluffles. Because the Fluffle deck, even old Fluffles, I think is good enough. Because when you think about it, it's old Fluffles is just Orcus with the ability to just wipe the opponent's board. That's kind of all it is, right? Hello, Dwan. Yeah, we should actually chat with everyone who is in chat. So we have Dragson, who's in with What New. I mean, we just literally spoke about that. We have Waltz Master. Hello, Mr. Tomato. It's been a while. It has been a while, Waltz. Welcome on in. It's good to see you again. We've got Pro Manicus with the Tomato. Hello, Pro Manicus. And this is going to be a very exciting event because Pro Manicus will be entering, I believe, his first Angel Cup, which is going to be an exciting one. We have Bakura. Welcome with the hello. We have Ninjetti, Ursus, Harpy, Sweep, Pog. I mean, I'm wondering how many people are going to be on Harpies. I would expect Ice Arc and Buster Blader to be quite popular because you don't need the skill, or you don't need skill changes to make them better with the balance or the limit restrict changes, as well as those decks are almost good anyway. I think Harpies is going to be a little bit more of a meme deck. And we have Quickwix. Welcome on in. Ah, yes, speed account. Dwan shows up with Pop Friend. Hello, Dwan. They baited me to use my gems I'd saved up for Go Rush World. I had to get Time Thief. Well, Time Thief's been doing okay, right? Like, I don't want to, like, oversell it, but Time Thief has been doing pretty fine, right? It's not... I don't think it's going to be winning any of these massive events, but I think it did make top 8 yesterday. And I think it did okay in the Meta Weekly. Like, again, I don't think it, like... I don't even know if it topped in the Meta Weekly, but I think it, like, was winning some games. Which is a thing. Maybe it's, like, a decent free-to-play-ish option. Maybe it's an okay rogue option into some decks. We will have to wait and see. So, we have reached 1 o'clock, which means the brackets should be up shortly for the Angel Cup. And when they are, we will see who we're against. And we will see about hopping straight in with that. Oh, let's not do that. Okay, so it looks like that's started. Let's go and see if our brackets are up just yet. And if they are, we will fire straight into that. Yeah, it's not terrible. Good enough for the KC Cup. Yeah, I do think, though, that most decks should be good enough for the KC Cup. Okay, it looks like our first game is going to be up. So we will go and grab the room ID. No. There's no chat yet. Is that it just being a bit funky or what? What's going on here? Oh, that's me being silly. I haven't done it on the right browser. Obviously, you guys can't see anything yet. That's because I'm just sorting out the game. Click into here. Post a message. Then we'll slap this in the chat as well. And then we will head over to Duel Links, where you'll get to see this screen for a little bit. And that is until our opponent joins in. So, let's take a look at the matchups we have today. So, this Korean VTuber is the one that beat us last time, playing Dark Magician Machine. So, we might get a rematch against them at some point. Again, I'm not going to recognize a lot of these people. Who is this? We've got Deku down here. Bisma is in the bracket over as well. I don't recognize the icon. I'm pretty sure that's a Guilty Gear character, but... Who else do we have in? We have Deku over here. We got Ra versus Gozu. We got Manicus versus Dwan. No! That's sad. That's very sad. Because ideally, again, you want to be playing against people that you don't usually play against, right? Especially when you're playing in like a Japanese event. It's like, oh, there's going to be loads of Japanese players I've played against before. Looks like he's almost signed up and in. Ursus is down here with a buy. We don't actually have many of us with buys this time, do we? We got Deku, we got Ursus. Shizu Rui. I don't know if we know this player or not. Got my Google Translate up just in case. I mean, that is always the smart thing to do. So our opponent should be joining the room shortly. Time Thief is kind of like better chronomally. Strong at going first, weak going second. I see, I see. Right, well, let's hop into the game. Good luck for everyone playing. Yeah, good luck everyone who is competing. I hope we get some of us Westerners in the top cut. Alright, let's see what we're against. We are playing against a Yuga, playing a Yuga skill. So this could be Vulcan, this could be Machine, this could be Overlord, this could be SAR. And we're playing Harpies! Now again, we're not expecting to win, right? We're just going to see how it goes. If we win a single game, I'm going to be chuffed. We're going to be so happy with that performance. Right, Recital and then a bunch of chaff. I kind of want to get aggressive because no matter what he's playing, I guess if he's on SAR, he could punish me for getting aggressive. No, we're going to get aggressive. We're just going to get aggressive. Let's see what he's got. So he has got something he can activate. Okay, it's SAR. This was the worst possible. Right, we'll swing with this. Chances are, if it can survive the attack from one, it can survive it from the other. Okay, so this is the worst timeline, just because SAR has the most tools to punish 3 attack mode monsters. Like, this is where we could just take a crap ton of damage. Hello, is life. Welcome, welcome. The username is Guilty Gear Reference 2, most likely. I find Shizu on ladder quite a lot. I see. If we just hope our opponent doesn't have full combo, it's not turn 4 yet, so he can't, like, search the SRM, so he has to, in order to get, like, the biggest punish here. Alright, that's fine, we don't care about that. He has to basically have the God Hand, right? He needs to tribute this to summon out Seven's Raid Witch, activate Witch Effect, discard the other card, and then summon out SRM. Oh, no. No. Okay, this is okay. Seven's Axel Road, so it's not going to get the search, but we'll get the power boost. So, we are going to lose 2 guys, we are going to lose a decent chunk of life points, but this could have gone so much worse. So, this doesn't really mean anything. He's paying 300 to do 300 more damage. So, we're both going down 300, basically. And another back row. 3 back row, and we know one of them is chainable, is actually super spooky. Because the other thing is now, if we go aggressive again, that is where it will be turn 4, and he can really pop off and start getting a crud ton of damage in on us. So it's not ideal. We are going to take... Okay, so we still have the life point lead at the very least. That's something. Dosodon now is not a great shout. Realistically, I think we probably go Cybertech, and that's kind of it. We just kind of vibe on this. Alright, we'll set this. And I'll set this. I'm going to tribute off the pigeon and summon out Cybertech. We'll just go to battle. And we are... I think we're going to clear this. We're going to try and clear this. I don't think it matters that he keeps the Seven's Raid Witch. If it goes to Graveyard, that can benefit him in a lot of ways. Okay, we got the widespread out of him. Interesting that he's on widespread. That's very aggressive. That's a very aggressive trap card, because basically he's doing that just so that he can get a direct attack in. Magical Stream. Of course, he's had 2 of these to deal with our only 2 spell traps we've drawn so far this game. This is another issue of we went second, so we're always playing from behind. Like, he always has an extra 5 cards than us to try and, like, out our board. So, like, here, we're going to go down to 0 cards, and he's still going to have so many cards, and we're only going to have 5 cards to be able to deal with whatever he's got left. But it's just going second in Rush just always feels so bad. We also have not found any of our Harpies yet, which is very disappointing. Obviously, the way we want to be playing this deck is that we just find a lot of Harpies very quickly, throw them all in the graveyard. Yeah, okay, so he is playing, like, the cheesiest version of this deck there is. He's playing the widespread, and he's playing Shield and Sword, which means he is just playing to try and just absolutely cheese wins as hard as he possibly can. Which, I mean, it makes sense, right? The deck is good at doing that, so why not play to your strengths? But he is not interested in playing a fair straight-up game. He is just, I'm just going to cheese damage as hard as I can, wherever I can. That is a bit of a shame. We don't have a normal for this, even if we did have everything else set up. I think this might be game over, guys. Right, we'll go Essel, activate. If we could stall out, we maybe had a chance, but we don't have a chance for that anymore, unfortunately. So we'll tribute over this. Summon here. We'll summon out the Dosodon. We're going to tribute over this as well. We're going to go ahead and activate the Harpy Lady Sisters. We've got to put these 2 back. Boost it up. We'll activate the Avian Spell Tactics. And we're going to pop, I don't know, this. That's not a bad one to hit. Unfortunately. I'll tell you what we will. We'll put a Trick Pigeon on top. That might come up if we somehow manage to survive. So nothing should matter here. I guess we're going to boost this. I think we just have to clear these. Like, it feels bad. We're almost certainly dead on the crackback, but, like, I don't think we had anything we could do. Without seeing any trap cards, I don't really know what we were supposed to do to survive it. I say that. We milled one, and one got popped immediately at the start. I think we've just drawn worse, and obviously going second didn't help. We'll have to see what happens. And that is going to be the nail in the coffin, isn't it? Oh. So now we use the skill, get that, do that. That swings over, that swings over. 28 is 700 damage, and then that's just lethal. Yeah, there's nothing we can do about that. Rest in peace. Alright, fingers crossed we actually win the coin toss, and maybe we actually get to play the game. Because I felt like we never actually got our foot going. Like, we never got any footing in that game. Like, our turn one, we did stuff, and then we did nothing else for the rest of the game. So we need to see spell traps, we need to find our harpy pieces earlier, because that's the whole point, right? We want to get the harpy lady pieces in the graveyard so we can keep recurring them. That is what the deck is built to do. Now, this is not what we had in mind, deck. This is a bit of a piss take, not gonna lie. Well, how do we want to play this? I guess I think we have to throw one of these in the bin. We'll hold on to one of them, I think. We're going to do this. And we'll see if we get punished. Now again, we play 6 tribute monsters total, so we found half of our tribute monsters already. If they were different ones as well, like if this was 2 different harpy ladies, then I wouldn't be too bummed out, because at least we've got them in the graveyard, which is where we want them, right? But as it... Oh, come on. Oh, come on, bro! Stop sacking me! I've already bricked! You don't need to sack me any harder! Bro. I mean, didn't even need the double. Did not need the double. This is just what happens. Every time I play in the Angel Cup recently, I get absolutely sacked. Now again, we are playing a meme deck, and we are playing against one of the strongest decks in the game. So we weren't expecting to win anyway, but we have not even gotten to play the game. Like, bro, what do I do with this? If we want to shuffle Wind back, it has to be Wind, Wing, Beast. We have to shuffle both of these back. I can get one back from the graveyard, but then I'd have to just let him keep his back row. I think we're going to let him keep his back row. We're going to go Trick Pigeon. I'm going to grab this back. I want 2 chances to kill his guy. Because if he has... the, do we summon this in attack? It's greedy to summon an attack. We'll put it in defense. If he has widespread, he can stop one of these. He won't be able to stop both. Okay, didn't have the widespread. So we could have gotten him for the extra 1,000, but it would have invited us taking more damage on the crackback. Now, the downside here is we have 2 0 defense monsters on the field, and we know for a fact our opponent plays shield and sword. We have no back row because we are very unlucky. So, if our opponent has shield and sword, the game is probably over, and I can't really do anything about it. It's sat by Dwan, 2 Mirror Innovator turn 3. It'd be like that. I mean, yeah. Alas, Mirror Innovator do go burr. Ooh. Ooh. Tributes both. So that's an SRM coming down. It is turn 4, so the skill is turned on. Obviously, we don't need it. Summons out a 1500 attacker. Summons out... Ah, yeah, that's right, that's right. We can boost it because it's this... That is actually really frustrating. He needed exactly the Magician's Valk to be able to out my whole board. Like, it had to be Valk. If it was another level 6 one, he would have to tribute the Light Sorcerer. So now he gets to clear the whole board. Like, what chance do we have to win now? I think we literally... I mean, if we draw 3 normal summons, we could set them and possibly live the turn. But at that point, we're just stalling and hoping we draw the max. If we can just hard draw the max, we'll be in a great spot. But now we only have 1 of each piece in deck, so it's not feeling great. Oh no. We are so close. We are actually so close to the max. So this is our little like gimmicky combo to try and get us there, but we needed this set on the field the turn before. And even then we still would have needed some sort of board. I mean we literally have like 1 play, so we're just gonna make it. There's no... Yeah, if we discard 2, draw 1, it doesn't get us anywhere anyway. So we're going to set this. We're going to tribute over this. We'll summon out Faithbird. We'll activate Avian Spell Tactics. We're going to pop this. And then we will go ahead and grab... I guess we'll just put Harpy Lady middle piece on top of our deck. Tribute over this to summon this. Activate the skill. Go to battle. Get in for 5. And then we just clear this. And then he draws any 1600 attack monster. The game is over. Literally any 1600. And his deck should be chock full of them. So we are almost certainly just dead. And there's nothing we can do about it. Let's see what happens. If we had found Negate Attack or Slime during either of these games, maybe we could have held on, but like... I feel like partially we're just getting really unlucky. I mean, again, we started this game with 3 Tribute Monsters in hand, right? So like... What are you supposed to do if you open 3 Tribute Monsters, realistically? I mean, he hasn't just slammed it down. If he had lethal, surely you just do it, right? There's not much thinking involved. You just tribute for a 1600 guy, the game is over, right? Oh. So you're saying there is hope. 2 back row. That's really spooky. So this doesn't really get us anywhere. We'd have to tribute over both of these to get them in the graveyard to remotely have any chance of doing anything there. So... Lossodon is basically turned off right now. Putting more cards in the grave doesn't actually do anything for me right now, right? We've got 2 Winged Beasts in there anyway, so that doesn't matter. The issue is he might have Slime, I guess. That's like the big one. So we're going to go ahead and tribute this out. Because at this point, we die to Shield and Sword anyway. So nothing else is really going to matter with that. So it's this one that we want to boost. So we will activate Harpy Lady Sisters. And we'll go ahead and put these 2 back. And do we want that back in the deck? We probably want this back. Because like this is going to go to the graveyard anyway. So we're already going to have one in there. So we'll boost this one up. We'll activate the skill. We're going to boost this up, and we'll change this one. Unfortunately, that's not going to be lethal damage. Oh, did I just goof that? I could have gotten an extra... No, I couldn't. No, I could have. I could have got an extra 500, which would have been 26. Ah, we threw. We threw so hard right there. Bro, I didn't even think of that. I mean, if he's got slime, it doesn't matter anyway. So we've played around. The thing is, if he has slime, he doesn't even need to use it here. So, like, we might just never know. That would have been an extra 200 damage, so that didn't matter. It was literally, we could have got the extra 500. But again, if he has slime, it doesn't matter. But we might just never find out if he had slime. There was a delay. If he had slime, he would have had to use it. I mean, there is that. We got a minimum summon on the field, though. Well, it could also just be widespread. The issue is, I haven't played Harpy Ladies in, like, 4 months. It wasn't slime! No! We had lethal and we threw! The sadness. So what's that going to be? That's 700 plus whatever the SAR gets up to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that's lethal. There's nothing we can do through that. Rip. Bro. That feels bad. That feels bad. He doesn't play negate attack? No, he does not play negate attack, which is a shame. Ah. Again, we punted that. We have no one to blame but ourselves. No, don't. Why would you... Why does it do this? Right, for some reason, I can't select that my opponent won the game. Like, it will not let me do that. So I have to wait until he does it, and then I can declare who won the game. If I set it to 2-0, my opponent won, for some reason, Tonemel will just be like, yeah, you won 0-2. And I don't know why it does that. Let's see what our opponent's saying. Okay, he's saying like nothing. Alright, I need him to... There we go. He has done that. I think, realistically, it didn't really matter. I think we were going to lose either way, but... Just let the opponent do it and let it auto-validate. It's just weird. Like, why can't I don't understand why it doesn't work like that. Like, Tonemel just feels like a really badly put-together website. Just in general. I just let the opponent do it and auto-validate. Yeah, only winner reports the win on Tonemel. The loser only approves. Yeah, it's weird though. I just don't know why it does that. Like, I guess it doesn't really make an issue, a difference, does it? So yeah, unfortunately, me and Manicist are out. Feels bad. Again, I wasn't expecting the Harpies to do anything. Like, we could have won. Like, we had lethal, right? I don't think there's any other back row you could have had that could have stopped us from killing him. We just misplayed. We didn't even see the line until later. But again, we're still getting used to the deck. We haven't played Harpies in God knows how long. And even when we did play Harpies, we weren't like a Harpy main at all. Like, it was never been like one of my favorite decks. So, misplaying on it, it's going to happen. So now the question is, how are the other games going? So what we should do now is change over and go and watch the stream. We'll see who is playing. Oh, we're watching Ursus's game. So this is probably... What are we watching here? So this is... Ursus is playing Vulcan? I don't know. This is a bold choice, Ursus. Vulcan pre-skill change. I mean... Vulcan's still a fine deck, and it has gotten a buff. I just don't like the idea of playing, like, fake... Like a fake format deck. You know what I mean? Because if we're playing the current format, then this deck doesn't work. And if we're playing the deck after the 24th, this deck still isn't right. So, like, it's weird. I always find it funny that the non-Japanese players always get paired. Yeah, it happens. Is this the YN guy? Is that Space Saurus? I have to, like, remember these names at some point in my life. Like, that has to happen eventually. Right, let me drag this over here. This is Player, apparently. This guy's name is Player YN. But I had no idea. So Buster Blader comes down. We also have no idea what game this is, because once again, Tonemel doesn't let you say anything until the end of the game. Oh, this is Whiner? I legit did not know that this was Whiner's Tonemel account. Oh! So, see, if I'd known that, I could have, I would have had a lot more information about him from, for the Worlds video that I did. Okay, so this is Worlds competitor Whiner versus Ursus. Both playing new decks, which is exciting, right? Because I think where we have the ability to play basically kind of a new format in, you know, we have a couple of decks that have got a little buff from the changes. It is exciting to see the newer decks. And this means we've already now seen Harpies and Vulcan, and I can only assume, based on the fact that we had all the different named warriors, that we're playing Ice Arc. We were actually thinking about playing Ice Arc ourselves, and then I was like, I kind of want to test the Harpies to see how it goes. Again, the main difference with Harpies, for me at the very least, because I don't think Harpies playing like aggressive is going to do much in this current meta. I think the way that Harpies suddenly gets good is if you're able to consistently get out the maximum. So we built the deck just to try and do that. We had the Dosodon in there as kind of a meme. It's a way that you can draw a card. So like, you can put it on top and then draw it out. If someone would have told me we had revised ban list early, I would have tried Buster Blade. I mean, I told you when I found out, Manicus. Don't look at me. Alright, so what do we have here? We have summoned out our guy. He has 200 attack, lower than he should be. And we have put the... was that the middle maximum piece on top? Summon out Piercing Samurai. Very, very good for this position. Ooh, okay, so we do mill the middle maximum piece, which does deny our opponent. We do mill our own slime, though, which is actually huge. Tribute 2 to summon out Buster. And we just have Buster in the open. This man, our friend Whiner, has just opened Buster Blade for basically both games. Like, we just found it super early. And that is so, so important. Okay, here comes Siesta Torero. So we can flip it down and get that big piercing damage in if we want. Or we just leave it up, attack over it, get damage in, pierce over the other one. So we are going to activate the effect. So we have to leave a certain amount of high-level warriors with different names in the graveyard so that we can use Ice Arc. Funnily enough, we haven't actually seen Ice Arc yet. I just realized Printing Presser puts the revealed cards on the bottom. Imagine revealing all the legend cards and having them place on bottom. That can happen. Now, how likely is it to happen? So we do have our legend spell again. So we did see this in the last game. We are going to summon out that right piece of Vulcan. Summon out Talismanic Warrior. I don't really like Talismanic Warrior, if I'm being perfectly honest. I think it's a little bit... it's a little bit mid. I just think the burn you get from it is not super great. I suppose if you're always planning to sack it off, then it's fine, right? There's another maximum piece put to the top. So... this would normally be able to clear anything on the board, but here it has to attack the weakest. Now, we might have gone for the weakest anyway, because getting the more life point damage in with the burn deck is probably correct. It depends how confident we are in our back row to protect us, especially since we know our opponent is going to be on 3 copies, or at least 2 copies, of... this is probably going to be on 3 copies realistically, right? Of the Avian Spell strategy. That means we can potentially pop some of those back row. Here comes down Ice Arc. Activate Ice Arc effect. So we're putting 2 cards back into the deck. Special summoning a monster from the graveyard. And here he comes. Yami Ruler. Obviously you can't use his effect. We're then going to activate our skill to put these cards back into the graveyard. And then give 1,000 boost to our Ice Arc. So now it's going to come down to what this back row is. I'm expecting probably a negate attack here, but we'll have to wait and see. Oh, there's the first Avian Spell Tactics. We hit, that is a burn card, and that would actually be really good here because both Ice Arc and Buster Blader are level 7s. There's not many options, or not many times or opportunities when Combustion Crisis is actually live against this deck. You often just play it as a burn spell. But here it actually was live, so we could also have a second copy of Deku are still both in. Yeah, at the moment, Deku's still in. At the moment, Bismuth is still in. Dwan is still in. Gozu is still in. Oh, and Gozu versus Dwan is about to start as well. That's going to be pretty hype. Oh, looks like we're going to be spectating it. Gozu versus Dwan. So Gozu, anyone that doesn't know, is well known for playing the same deck again and again and again and again. Gozu was playing Machines for the longest time, but has since put that deck down and has been playing Psychics non-stop for a very, very long time. So here we're going to be seeing Dwan. Dwan can play pretty much anything. So Dwan might be on Machines, it could be on SAR, it could be on Magnum Overlord, could be on Vulcan, could be on anything. Now, we know, because Promanicus was saying earlier, that you had Innovator. So that's telling us he's probably just playing machines. A machine into Psychic is an interesting matchup. Both players really want to deny resources from their opponent as much as possible, because if you give your opponent an inch, they will take a mile. So we are going to reveal the Gold Rush in our hand. Put a card back, add the Aim Eagle. Now this is obviously just fixing the hand a little bit because we had too many high levels. Set 2. Ooh, this is looking like Dwan may have been a little bit bricked up. Now, this isn't the end of the world, but it's definitely not the strongest start we could have seen. I mean, we still get to deny 3 resources from our opponent. Our opponent will be left with 1 monster, though. Our board defensively is also not that bad. That's basically 4,000, like, worth of wall protecting our life points. Only having 2 monsters also is not too bad because it means... Oh, that Jamp Check going is huge. And he does have the Candy, which is also pretty big. So we're going to add the Prima from hand. We're going to tribute both, summon out the Prima. Flip up the 1500 was the one we missed. Then we're going to summon out the Essel. And we're also going to use the Tribute to the Doomed. That's just 2,500 wall gone. That is actually huge. We are taking so much damage this turn. 1,000 life points on turn 3. So we're going into turn 4 with only 1,000 life points. That is really not ideal. Unfortunately, I feel like the Psychic player was just at him massively just from going first. Like, I think going first and just having all those extra resources gave Gozu what he needed to just... You know, you got to say to your opponent, you need to spend resources to out my board. And then when we didn't out all of that, we still left him with 1 extra card. That 1 extra card meant that we got that extra, basically 1,600 damage in. And obviously, you know, finding the Candy, which gets you to the Prima as a free plus, is obviously really, really strong. And then we got to spend that plus even on the Tribute to the Doomed, which is just so, so good. Now, we do actually have some back row now, and we know one of the checks is gone. There is still going to be 1 check in the deck. Have we drawn it? If we have, this game could be over, because all we need is, like, check and a Melody, and we have everything we need. I mean, Melody might be enough on its own if those are 2 spell cards that we've drawn. Setting a back row. Setting another back row. We could just go to battle here. We are just going to go to battle. So it looks like there is a delay. So if it's widespread, there it is widespread. So we were debating whether or not to get rid of it. If our back row is a back row hate of our own and we draw into another one, we could potentially go for a really big push here. But I don't think we have the graveyard set up necessary to do like an OTK push with like double Innovator. Especially since Aim Eagle wasn't going to be turned on. I suppose we can finagle this a little bit, can't we? Make this look a little bit better. If I do this, we can show off us a little bit more. We still have the Angel overlay somewhere. So we do have the back row hate, so we did correctly predict that. Move this over a smidge. We can have that little bit of black, but that's fine. That looks a little bit tidier. So we have the Crafter Drone. What are we going to do with this Crafter Drone? We're doing a big think, so we have options. So we did draw the second back row hate. So we did talk about this earlier. It was 2 spell cards. 2 good spell cards. But neither of them would have stopped us. Tribute both. Summon out the first Innovator. Summon out Essel. Tribute it to summon out the Cybertech. Activate the Innovator. Putting back 1, 2 7s and a 4. And a 1000 attack monster. How much damage is this? That's 27 plus 25. That is lethal! One found lethal. And all it took was taking a few minutes, doing the maths, finding out what we need. Especially considering just how well Gozu opened. Like, Gozu won the coin toss and then found perfect cards, right? We opened with... Alright, to be fair, we didn't find check. We did mill the check. Outside of that, we had plenty of back row, we had the candy early, we had the Prima, we managed to apply a bunch of pressure, we got our opponent down to 1,000 life points and took away all their resources. But it didn't matter in the end, Dwan still managed to close it out. So Dwan going first this time. Now we know both of these players do play Essel, which means there is a chance that Gozu sacks Essel on turn 1. And is able to do a really high and a really powerful Melody play. And with only 1 back row, this could get a little bit spooky. Let's see what Gozu draws. So there is the God Hand, right? We could just find the God Hand. So we each mill 1. We do not get the draw. Obviously, if we had hit a spell trap, then we would have got that draw, and that would have been like the Ultra God Hand, especially if we have an Essel in hand also. So we do not have Essel. Who are we summoning here? Is this Prima or is this Melody? It's Prima. I'm pretty sure the cut-in means it has to be Prima, but I don't play with like a lot of the animations on, so... So this is actually a terrible start for Gozu. This is the opposite of last time, where we do not want to have just one weak boss on the field. We basically had to summon this, because if we leave this in hand and we draw another boss, the game could just be over. So we didn't really get a choice here. So 3 defense mode monsters. If we attack and our opponent does have the widespread, we could just die. So Gozu is thinking about that right now. He's like, if I attack into widespread, I am cooked. Does leaving 1 extra monster mean much? Okay, so no reaction there. There might have been a delay. It's hard to tell as a spectator, but there might have been a delay there. It looked like there was. That would imply slime. Alright, let's see what Dwan has for us. 2 back row to chew through. We've got a 2200 attack monster. 2200 is not the end of the world. Chances are... I don't know if Gozu is one of the players that plays negate attack in Psychics. There are quite a few players that do that. I think Gozu plays a more standard, like just widespread ruin double jump check build. So there are so many different ways that we could just end the game here. Now, a lot of those do involve Mirror Innovator. And we've just thrown some nice cards in the bin. We definitely want those 7s in the graveyard if we do have access to the Innovator. The scary thing is always going to be the back row, though. I mean, on one hand, you want to force out the back row anyway. So, like, we probably make some sort of big push either way. But if we have good back row of our own to protect us, we definitely feel a lot more confident doing this. So there's a high likelihood those 2 back row are spells, or at least one of them is a spell. It's very unlikely both of them are trap cards, but they could just be like widespread and slime, right? Again, Gozu would have to have gotten pretty lucky to get that, but I suppose that would kind of balance out the rest of his hand, having to be forced to just throw down a Prima and get no real value out of it. The fact that Dwan's taken so long on his turn makes me think we're doing a lot of maths. We're contemplating, do we go for a big push? How big a push do we go for? Do we potentially have lethal? What are the probability that our opponent has opened his trap cards? Then both to grave. So we're going to be cheating out one of our bosses. Now, who's it going to be? We only have the one high level engrave, which is going to limit how big a Mirror Innervator it could get. So here is Tough Striker. Looks like we're playing very reserved. We are respecting our opponent's back row. Oh, or not. I suppose if you have this many high levels in hand... Plus, this way you could probably... The thing is this even threatening lethal? No, this is not threatening lethal yet. We're currently... This is going to be 1100 off lethal? We do swing. There was a delay. So that tells me there's almost certainly a slime. This makes me think there's a slime on both sides of the field right now. It's a shame we didn't have a 1500 attacker, but if that back row we've just set is a legend trap to go alongside the slime, that could be really big. This is going to give us back 1000 life points, as well as get us our Candy. Candy is then going to be able to use the effect or use the skill on the Candy, which is then also going to get us an extra plus from the deck. That will get us the Jam Up, or it will get us the Prima. Oh, and we have the check. Right, there's the slime we predicted, and there is the widespread we also predicted. So this is actually the worst case scenario for Psychic, unless they have a second check. I suppose they could just have a Melody as well. But if they have Melody, then they had, like, the God hand. Because, like, Melody, check, and Candy is everything you need to basically do full combo. If we don't have check or Melody, though, Dwan is looking like he's in a pretty good spot. Now, we're probably going to lose the whole board, but we're not... Are we in a good spot? The problem is, if we don't use... Even if our opponent is able to get out 3 big guys, clear our whole board, it's probably not going to be lethal damage. So at that point, do you hold Slime? But then you also have the issue... Oh, there's the Melody. It does not matter. We have found the God Hand. So this is where it actually gets a little bit tricky, because if we want the plus, then we have to use the skill on our ready. We have to use our Ready Shine on our Candy now, which means we then won't have a level 5 to put back in our hand for Melody. So this is actually a little bit awkward. Did we had the Maginical, so did we just fire off the Maginical too early? Is that what we did here? Because I think we could have held the Maginical, right? We could have just summoned Candy, used the skill, do all of this, then gone into Maginical afterwards, and brought back the Prima with an already established full board, right? We are going to use the Jam Up. Okay, so we are not going to go for the extra 1500 attack. Okay, this is fine. This is also just completely fine. So we get to get rid of that back row. And then it depends, do we have a 1500 attacker? Tribute Candy and Katana for Melody. Use skill on Roman Pick. Bounce Roman Pick. Add back Candy. So you can do that. But the issue with that line is then we still don't have a good level 5 or higher monster to use with Melody, right? Doing it the way that Gozu's done it, we have managed to get everything except the 1500 boost on the Can Melody. So chances are that's a Candy in defense mode, but it also could just be another low attack monster. That could be just like a rhythmical performer. Roman Pick gets you back everything. But we'd already used the skill on the Candy. So we could do what you said. and activate the Roman pick again, but we've already used the skill, so we then can't use the skill again on Roman pick. Alright, it was a rhythmical, as we predicted. We are going to activate its effect. We're not going to hit a spell trap from our opponents. We're not going to find that draw. But this is looking very, very spooky. We did spin a back row back, so that could be the slime again. So we are going to put the Prima back in hand. We are going to spin the back row. So unless we have another Melody, we're not going to be able to get any damage in here. But I mean, we could easily just have another Melody. Speak of the Devil, there's another Melody. So now any normal summon of a psychic monster is going... Oh, we're going for lethal. We're going for triple Melody. Oh, we have so many resources. We can just get away with this. Oh, wait, why are we doing this now? Why? This is very early. So I thought what we were going to do would be normal summon 2 more monsters, tribute both to summon out the Melody again, then summon out the Candy, use the skill on it, put that back in our hand, spin another monster. Did we not have enough? I suppose we had the Prima in hand, and we know that the Melody is in hand. So if we don't have another normal summon in hand, but we must have another normal summon in hand, unless we've got double boss in hand. We know the hand is Melody and something. If it was Melody and another normal summon, you just normal summon both of the normals, tribute both, summon out the Melody again, summon out the Candy, activate the skill, target the Candy, put up to 5, put that back in our hand to use the new Melody's effect, spin another monster, then, because it's back in our hand, we summon it again, then we drop the Jamp up, send that to grave, summon out the Prima from hand, and that's just lethal, right? Now, if I'm wrong about that, guys, if anyone in chat can confirm if I've missed something, or if I've added an extra card somewhere, then by all means tell me, but I'm pretty sure that was lethal and we missed it. But again, Psychic is a very complicated deck, so if it was lethal, and Gozu did miss it, it's completely understandable, especially compared to all the other decks in Rush. The combo lines in Psychic are just like on another level, right? Like every other deck in Rush is basically like adding up and being like, do I have 6,000 damage? And then this deck is like, I need to put this in my hand, which card am I reusing, in what order do I need to do things? And every single operation needs to be done in a very specific order in order to get the maximum value out of it. I want to go back and watch that again, actually, and see if that was lethal. Because, like, I think it is, but, like, I've been wrong before. I am far from infallible, as we've seen me missing lethal in my own game today. Alright, let's go and take another quick peek then over at the bracket and see where things are sat. So, I assume... Wait, was that 2-0? Did I miss? Oh, yeah, of course, because Duan had, like, the really powerful turn, what was it, turn 4? I think was Duan's, like, ridiculous turn. So I had exact lethal turn 3, but I would have had to shuffle Slime and Widespread, so it was weird. Yeah, if your opponent has... Because that your opponent already had the double back row at that point, right? So, like, it's very difficult in that situation. Well, Deku's won his game as well, so Deku's advanced, which is pretty cool. So we know this deck, we know these decks, we know this deck, we don't know this deck. So ideally I want to spectate this game, or I want to spectate this game, and I really want to spectate this game, but this game hasn't started yet. And it looks like we are going to be who is this? Oh, this is the top game. So this is one of the games we want to spectate, because we want to find out what deck everyone's playing, right? So this is the player that beat us. So they will be playing SAR. And then their opponent is, I don't know, whatever their opponent's on. Oh, and my nose will not stop running. I don't know if it's a cold or if it's hay fever, but by golly, something's going on. Alright, what do we have now? Has the game just finished? Or... Because there's only 2 people in the room, and one of them's us. Like, it's Apple who's spectating the game, right? How cold is it in the UK? It's so we use Celsius over here. Obviously, I don't know where you're from, Waltz, but in the UK we use Celsius, and it is about 14 here at the moment. So to any of our American friends, that's 57 in Fahrenheit. So just to put that into perspective, and it's not freezing cold here. Do not get me wrong. It is not freezing cold here at all. It is a little bit chilly, is the best I would describe it. It will not be properly cold until, like winter rolls around. But we've been used to like the summer heat. So here it's been like jumping around between like 21 and 27. And so that's what we've kind of gotten used to. So now that it's 14, it's like, it's a bit nippy. Right, so we are going to jump into this game. This is looking like Psychic. So Psychic versus SAR. I should probably actually put this in the spreadsheet while I'm here and I remember to do it. So right now we have top 8 Psychic. We have SAR. We have... Who else is in the top 8? Don't know what Deku's playing yet. We had a Psychic player that lost, so we can actually fill that in right now. Dwan is playing Machine. We know that Isark is in top 8 as well. Okay, so we know 5 of the top 8 at the moment. Which is not bad, that's not bad. I'm from Bulgaria, 26 here, and I'm chugging ice cream. My man. Well, that's the thing. In the UK, typically it's cold all the time because it rains all the time. So that's just kind of what we get used to. The other problem with my lethal play is that I would have to leave 2 Eagle in the graveyard. Maybe it was correct to go for lethal. I mean, my opinion, however much that's worth, because I do think that you're almost certainly a stronger rush player than I am, is... It's awkward to call, right? Because it basically comes to throwing caution to the wind. Do we push in against double back row, or do we not? Because, like, Voltalon did that in the World Finals in the very last game and got punished for it. So, like... Now, you weren't in a losing position, but Psychic is still Psychic. They can still just kind of pull it out, right? Eagle isn't the be-all, end-all. I mean, Eagle can... The main thing with Eagle, though, is it unbricks your hand. That is the biggest thing with Eagle, right? The 1000 attack boost is nice, but unbricking your hand is unbelievably valuable in some situations. Press Machine, we're getting Machine Stall. Maybe some Earth Machines buff when Go Rush stuff gets induced. I mean, just having Joint Tech stuff comes out means we'll be seeing Earth Machines, right? That is just a thing that's going to happen. We are still missing a couple of them, like Drilling Mandrill. We still haven't seen that yet. So, like... We're also still missing some Light Machines, right? Like the Kaizo stuff. With the CEO. So, interestingly, the Psychic player is playing Esperard. Very curious. Also, welcome on in Desmume. Do you rather we call you Desmume, or would you rather be called Tsukimura, by the way, while you're in the Twitch chat? We're gonna activate the effect, discard the Sorcerer, draw another card. What are we going for? Whatever works, honestly. Okie dokie. We'll just stick with what your Twitch name is then, because I don't have to, like, use brain power to convert it over. Right, we're tributing 1. So this is turn 3. So if we want to use the SRW effect, we have to have just hard drawn the SRM. So we're going to use the SAR. Boost it up by 800 to 24. That doesn't mean that we have the SRM in hand already, but this does already contest the Prima. The issue is contesting the 15 as well. We would need another 1600 in hand. Obviously the SRM would do it, or exactly Valkyria. Oh, we're making a play. It was exactly Valp, and we also have the TSA. TSA here is very aggressive, but Seven's Axel Road is a deck that does have to play in a very aggressive manner. We find damage wherever we can, so that, again, we can just rip that win from our opponent very forcefully. 2 back row as well, so we're not getting as much damage as we might have liked, but still getting 4,300 damage in is not bad. We are closing the life point gap a little bit. Fluffle, let's go! I mean, we'll be playing Fluffle later on today after this tournament, so we are looking forward to doing that. But unfortunately, it's going to be old Fluffle, not new Fluffle, because we're playing on the Rush account. Our Fluffle pulls haven't been very lucky on the Rush account, and we're out of, like, expendable gems. So we're back on every gem is now for Rush. But at some point in the near future, we will also be doing the KC Cup grind on the speed account, and we'll be using our, full power Fluffles. Set 3. Ooh. So this is... SAR doesn't have a great time beating set 3. You basically rely on Torna, and a lot of people have been cutting Torna now. So we cut it down to 1 copy, maybe 2 copies. Some people down to 0 copies. So we might not actually be able to beat set 3. But why is my playlist unshuffled itself? We'll just slap shuffle again. We might get some of the same songs, but that's fine. Do we want Scarlet's theme right now? I mean, it's a nice song, but, like, we're in the middle of a tournament. Let's zip past it. What we got here? More FF7. Genova's theme. This is a little bit more... At least when the bass drops. Right, we are going to use the magical string to pop the back row. KC Cup is a bird nest mess right now. I'm actually wondering how many people are just going to tuck Poisonous Winds into their deck to just be like, hey, you playing Lyrilisk? You playing Wind Witch? You playing Speedroid? I wouldn't be surprised if a bunch of people just tuck 1 or 2 copies into their lists. Just because it's an auto win in some matchups, right? Pretty toxic. I mean, you do what you have to do to win. 3 Book of Eclipse seems to be staple at the moment. Yes, Eclipse is so powerful because it's generic. You don't need, like, anything else to support it. And it's just not all decks have easy access to, like, non-target removal. Now, obviously, it's not really removal, but it's the next best thing, right? Non-targeting, non-destruction, I suppose, is what we're looking for. It also works well going first and second. Yeah, it is very, very strong. Let's go to my Angel Cup sweep. No, I am already out, JD Scrub. We brought Harpies just to try and meme it up. Unfortunately, it didn't go well. We missed lethal in game 2. We're now just commentating. I have to admit, I do think at the moment, at the very least, I prefer commentating to playing in tournaments. And the reason I say that is, 1, you get to watch a much larger variety of games as a commentator. 2, there's obviously no pressure, right? And the other thing is, I don't think this current meta is bad by any stretch, but there's no deck in this current meta that I'm, like, super into, right? Or down commentating does seem fun, though, and you're good at it. Thank you. I appreciate that. See, you're commentating at Rush Worlds next year. Now, I am by no stretch ever going to be commentating Rush Worlds. Even if Konami, for whatever reason, would want someone as teeny tiny as me showing up at Worlds, which I don't think they would. I showcase emulators, or, like, Yu-Gi-Oh! Emulators on my YouTube channel, and we talk about Rush Duel leaks, which are 2 big, big no-nos for Konami. So the only way they would ever want me, even if I was someone worth inviting, would be if I stripped my channel of all of my EDO stuff, and if I stripped it of all of the leak stuff. So we're going to send Maginical Miracle to the graveyard. We are going to bring back a boss. We are going to bring back the Prima. Hadn't Farf done that before? Yes, but he has since stopped doing that. And you might have noticed, as soon as he started working for Konami, all of that kind of content disappeared from his channel. Get stripping then? I don't know if we're talking about the Twitch streamer stripping. Poof, exactly. Alright, so we are going to be summoning out 2 Primas. That's a lot of damage. And a 15 and a back row. So if this back row... We know that the SAR player plays the widespread. And we know that obviously they're going to be playing slime. Do we have nothing? Do we have nothing? We just have nothing. Okay, we have no idea if that was game 1, 2, or 3, though. Is that Sakadetsu? Hello, Mr. Tomato. No Dinosaurus. I mean, you talk about no Dinosaurus. We're dinosaur. Book of Eclipse into Exciton Knight is putting in work against the birds. Oh, is that what you're on specifically, Manicus? Or is that what you're just, like, seeing other people do? Right, let's go and take a quick look at the brackets once more. So let's see how everyone is doing. We have a 2-1 win from... Oh, it's the deck we already know, which means this deck goes into the void. We may never know what that was. Dwan is going to be playing against Whiner. So that's a Worlds competitor versus Dwan, who probably should be a Worlds competitor, let's be honest. We do see a 2-0 from the Psychic player advancing to the top 4, so that means we can actually go over to our spreadsheet and just slap SAR. Did not make it into top 4 here. This is what we want to watch now, I guess. I want to watch this. Like, as much as I'd also love to watch Dwan, I want to find out what both of these decks are. So I want to watch Deku versus his opponent, like, really badly for my spreadsheet. Unfortunately, we're watching Dwan, which again is not a bad thing, because again, we like watching Dwan, but the spreadsheet might be a little bit bare, which is a little bit of a shame. It's what I'm doing. It's funny. Hello, Axelgate. Dwan as ancient as me, but he's actually heckin' good at the game. Yeah, Dwan is amazing, right? I think part of me wants to be like, it's really cool that Dwan is really good at speed and rush. But then another part of me is like, I think a speed player being good at rush isn't as big of an accomplishment as a rush player being good at speed. Because, like, one is like... It is a downgrade, right? Like, speed is so much more complex. There are so many more lines. There's so much more interesting stuff there going on that, like, going to a simpler format, you're going to have less growing pains, right? If you're a rush player and you're playing... normal Thummon Dragiath in attack mode, and I attack twice, right? And then you go on to, like, trying to do, like, full Orcus combos. Or, like, I don't know, what's, like, the most complicated deck right now? Borrowlink is, like, kind of hard, I guess. Dark Fluid seems like it has a lot of potential lines going on. Right, try to pick up, like, one of these decks. Nah, speed is easy. I don't know what you're on about. Again, it depends what deck you're playing, right? Like, I think Sharks looks kind of easy. I think Star Seraph looks kind of easy, right? Any of, like, the rank 4 turbo decks, those seem fine. Ritual Beast, that's another pretty complicated one. Blue Eye Set 3. The most complicated deck. I mean, it actually might be. I haven't actually seen Ritual Beast in Duel Links. Possibly ever. No, I must have seen it at least once or twice. But, like, I do not recall it. So, like... Unfortunately, Dwan is... We could just win here. We actually could just win. We just need to find... Mirror Innovator. Yeah, this has got to be lethal. This is 100% lethal from Dwan, right? Yeah. We got this. No worrying at all. It's actually a really tricky one, because a lot of decks couldn't lethal you through this board without, like, a TSA. But, again, Innovator, go Burr. Innovator is just so strong. I mean, there's a reason we have this emote, and it's been around for so long. It's because Innovator is just so scary if it gets going. Good. I see it too much. The most hard also cancer deck. Oh, is it like really bad to play against? Does like floodgate you out of the game or something? It was good about 2.5 to 3 years ago. Sean and Whirlwind were big RB players. I see. I saw it, like, I knew of it when it was, like, in TCG and popping off there. That's about it. About all I really see. I've seen, like, you know, like, the DZEF and stuff like that channels. Like, what was it? In Master Saga, we saw, like, Farfa play it for ages. Like, that is my most recent exposure to it. Let's put it that way. But that's the thing with Duel Links, right? The decks never quite play the same. Like, they play similar. They don't play the same. That is very optimistic. I don't like rhythmical turn 1 without a way to get it off the board. I think I would have rather just set it. I guess the logic is a lot of the machine monsters have 0 defense. So, like, you have a good chance to just get rid of one of them, and denying resources from them is really, really important. It's only good in TCG because it's one of the few decks that can play Dimension Shifter. Well, it's really, really good in TCG right now, right? Like, it's like one of the top decks, as far as I'm aware. Like, I think people were, like, throwing around, like, second best deck at some point. Like, I don't keep... I try to follow the TCG a bit, but I'm, like, not super, super up to date, right? Like, I know, like, Yubel is doing really well right now. Obviously, Snake Eye, everyone knows Snake Eye. There's what? Fiendsmith. And then, you know, Fiendsmith into everything else. Nah, it's Cope. Really? Okay. Right, Dwan's doing another big think turn. This tells me that Dwan potentially has an interesting line. Probably isn't going to be lethal no matter what here. But we've got to have a bunch of different options at the very least. So we are going to set. We are going to tribute, summon out the Cybertech Alligator. So this is already quite a big board. What's the last card in our hand, though? That's the question. Fiendsmith, Yubel, win Worlds. So, yeah, but you got to remember that that was kind of like a fake format, right? Like, Worlds is an amalgamation of, like, OCG and TCG. And it was also pre-ban list. So, it's in a bit of a weird spot. Everything is bad compared to Snake Eye and Yubel. Well, yeah, there is that. What was the, because Tenpai is doing alright at the moment as well, right? They're like OTK deck. I suppose everything's kind of an OTK deck, but, like, Tenpai's like a going second OTK deck, right? Oh, so we do get a draw from that, as we did mill the Iron Onslaught. We are going to summon out the... Okay, we do not have the Buster Blader in Graveyard, though, so we do not get to add it back to our hand. We are going to Tribute 2 and drop the Ice Arc. We have got a Warrior in the grave. That is actually very, very important, because now we can use the skill to send 2 more. Now we can use Ice Arc's effect to special summon one of them from the bin. 1, 2. So we're going to be summoning out the Yami Ruler, which means we will get a lovely little animation. So this is quite good for Weiner. That means we can clear most of this board already. The issue is we're only on 1600. Now, we do have those 2 back row. Now, I don't know if we saw there was a delay on the attacks from last turn. Right, we are just going to go for a clear. So Dwan's still looking like he's in a very commanding position. If we know that there's no delay, we could just win now. If we know that there was a delay, then it's going to come down to how much back row hate we find. And we know we've already lost 2. One of them got milled by the Rhythmical Performer, and one of them was used to hit the TSA. Alright, we're going to normal summon out the Crafter Drone, activating Crafter Drone effect. Discard Bicorn. That's a very interesting discard. It might be because we just don't have the graveyard set up in such a way where we could use its effect plus Mirror Innovator, so there's no reason to go for it. We get rid of the Boltricorn, which is just basically dead here. Any Royal Rebel representation? That's a bit of a tongue twister. Yeah, no, we have not seen any Royal Rebels today. Unfortunately. But there are a bunch of decks that we will just never know what they were, which is always a shame. As is, I might have to DM Deku to find out what his opponent was playing, depending if he wins or loses. Because if Deku wins... Deku lost anyway. Alright, we'll have to find out what Deku was playing. I think Deku is the only one we're going to be able to get an answer from. So we're not going to be able to... There'll be one deck missing on the list. I'm sure Deku will respond to us. Playmaker TB, hello, how are you? Hello, Playmaker. We're doing great. We are currently spectating the Rush Duel Angel Cup. And when this concludes, we will be playing in the Casey Cup, which is going to be a good time. Oh god, they added a Crackdown bundle. Have you only just seen that, Manicust? It's a weird one. So they keep adding bundles for like just after I've got 3 copies of the cards on my speed account. So for example, I have 3 Crackdown on my speed account, and now they're like, look, Crackdown bundle. And I'm like, bro, what's this? What's going on here? Oh, Blasting Bird. I did not expect us to be on Blasting Bird. How many spell traps are we playing to make Blasting Bird live? Like, alright, we summon out the Piercing Samurai. We can activate Piercing Samurai's effect to give piercing. Then we're probably going to tribute it off along with the Blasting Bird. Is it going to be Ice Arc? So this is going to be... It is the Ice Arc. Crackdown and Compulsory is good for players who want good back row eye. Yes. I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. The issue is I went out of my way to grab them. And now they're just available. So I'm like, meh. I mean, I'm happy for everyone else, right? Everyone that doesn't really have them. Oh, that is... So we're only on 100 life, so I don't really think Whiner is going to stand much of a chance here. But then again, we are very low on back row removal in the machine deck. So if we do just find all of our trap cards, we might be able to slowly whittle Dwan's life points down. We'll have to see what Whiner comes up with. I have 2 Compulsory, but you have 3 Crackdown. I have 3 Compulsory as well on my speed account. The issue is, I play exclusively Fluffles on my speed account, in which you don't play trap cards. So it doesn't mean anything, but I have the option to play them. We have, like, access to a bunch of other decks. Like, we have a full, like, Unchained package that we can just play. I can basically play, like, almost full Lyrilusk, almost full Wind Witch. Right, 100 life points, Anadrin. We threaten lethal with the board that we currently have. I mean, as a speed player, I'd rather pull Book of Eclipse on the new box. I mean, yeah, especially right now. Imagine if Dwan can burn for lethal. Just drop Sparks. We're just playing the one of Sparks in the deck just because why not? Now the Pokemon TCG theme starts playing. Oi, Tomato! Hello, Globe! Welcome, welcome. I don't know, but why you look like a younger Decade? I look like a younger Decade? I think I'm older than Decade. So I guess I'll take that as a compliment. Set another card. So we do already threaten lethal. Summoning out another boss here won't really change anything. Realistically, it's either going to be, yeah, it's Slime or Negate attack. So it's always going to stop both attacks. It's hard to tell if there was a delay there. That's a goddamn insult. Tomato is way hotter than Decade. I mean... We'll take the compliments, right? We will take as many compliments as people are willing to give. Oh, we're gonna go for the Pierce. And then we're going to tribute 2. Is that another Ice Arc? It's another Ice Arc! My man cannot stop finding Ice Arc. So we still do have that back row. This might just come down to, do we have Avian Spell Tactics? Activate Ice Arc effect. Put 2 cards back. Did we just put back a 25? So we're going to summon that at 23? Did I just see that right? Why? Why did we do that? Oh, okay. So it probably doesn't matter then. Chances... what is this? What is this defense monster? If it's an Essel or another 1000 defender, Dwan is so chilling. If it's not... Oh, it's a 1500 defender in Cycloptron! That was perfect! Alright, how do we win from this position? How many cards are left in Weiner's deck? I can't see because there are just speech bubbles everywhere. Right, 8 cards. So milling them out isn't likely. We hit the negate attack, so we saw there was a delay. We know that that's gone. We know that the slime is gone. So we just need to attack in for lethal. There should be nothing left. Alright, actually, shield and sword, or sword and shield. Sword and shield could stop us from winning here. Because as is, we would run in and we would actually die. That's the only card that could stop us. A lot of Ice Arc players do play it. But we can play around it by using Mirror Innovator. That is perfect, because even if the attack and defense get flipped, we do still keep the boost that we have over us. So as long as we attack with the Mirror Innovator to play around shield and sword. And it was the sword and shield! We predicted it! Oh, absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. From Dwan. No mistakes made. Impeccable gameplay. And there it is. There it is. Younger is always hotter. Keck W. I mean, if we... Gotta be careful how young you go there. I'm just saying. He stacked it, to be fair. Okay. Okay, yeah, he used the Avian Spell Tactics. You gotta remember that, again, this tournament, that is new, right? And we're not 100% paying attention. Come on, Yami, you can find Pierce. Well, unfortunately, he could. Well, he did have Pierce. It just didn't matter. Flag Beast Rhino 1 time. I don't think Dwan's going to be it. I'm so lucky to snipe the NA there. Wait, didn't you... Because wasn't that face down card already there the turn prior when you attacked? So wouldn't you have known from the delay? Or did I, like, misread that? Because, like, I'm not going to lie. I start reading chat and I, like, forget what's happened. I assumed that card was already on the field the turn prior when you attacked, and you got to feel the delay after he used the slime. But no, he had set 2 from hand. Okay, okay. So now we're going over to the other quarterfinal game, or semi-final game even. So this is going to be one deck we already know about, which is Psychic, and the other deck we don't know about. It looks like it's probably Psychic. And it's almost certainly Psychic. So that means we know that Psychic and Ice Arc made top 4. Which means, yeah, all we need is Deku's. We just need to find out what Deku is playing. We'll send Deku a DM in a minute. Maybe we'll wait till after stream. Can we wait till after stream? I kind of want to know now. Let's go find Deku and ping him. Okay, we'll wait until after stream, because I've got streamer mode on, and it makes it very difficult. Alright. Previous turn, I drew Boltricorn, and I couldn't make it live and lethal at the same time. Yes, we kind of assumed that when you discarded it off of, I believe, Crafter Drone. Because I think you did a double Crafter Drone play and sent both to the grave. Ooh. This is looking... Is this literally the God Hand? Did we just God Hand our opponent? It's not quite the God Hand, but this is very close to the God Hand. I don't know what either of these players are called, by the way. I don't know who either of these lads are. I suppose we could go and find out. We do have the technology. We have translators. So the bottom player is... Nano Tobisawa. We'll call him Nano, I suppose. And the top player is Roaming. So I guess Roman? I'm going to assume that is. So we've got Roman versus Nano. So we've got the... I feel like our bottom player, Nano, is just drawing insane. Like, we had, like, full combo. Then we've just got Candy plus Maginical off the top. And this is so hard to deal with. See, this is one of the things that I don't like about Psychic. So I like Psychic. I think Psychic is a cool deck. What I don't like is if you get a really good hand of Psychic, you pop off so hard. You just pop off so insanely hard. Your opponent can barely do anything to stop you. And if you don't draw a really good hand, you feel so underpowered and so weak. And it's so weird how a deck can feel like on two completely opposite ends of the spectrum. A lot of other decks, like, they still have this, but it's like a lot smaller. It's like, oh, my top end is still really good. My bottom end is not that bad. Psychic, I feel like, is like, my bottom end sucks. My top end is nuts. I do wonder what we're getting after KC Cup in terms of Rush Box, or Nanau's ratio is different. What we're getting after KC Cup in terms of Rush Box, or those sounds like two different sentences glued together. Yeah, playing versus Psychic is always scary. Yeah, Psychic is just one of those decks that can just steal the win out of nowhere, and it's so spooky. Top ends usually suck, and bottom ends usually ass. Innuendos, classic. There's that British humour shining through again. Tomato, what decks you hyped for from Go Rush? It's a tricky one. It's a tricky one because if we're just talking decks that I like from the physical game that would be coming out, there's a load, right? How many are going to be out closer towards launch? Probably not many. Like, for example, Light Galaxy is really cool when they get their fusions. Are we going to get the Galaxy fusions really early? Maybe. Maybe not, right? They might push them early because we're getting fusions with all the 7 stuff. But I feel like the Go Rush fusions would, for the most part, make the 7's era fusions look a bit worse by comparison. Jointech has some really cool cards. I do like some of Jointech's cards. And I think with a skill, Jointech could be really good. But if it was just the Jointech cards on their own, Jointech is going to be ass. Like, Jointech is just bad. So they're going to need a skill or to get a bunch of cards early or something to make them really strong. But, you know, Thunder got that, and they ended up being strong for a bit, and they're still, like, okay now. Vulcan got that, and that ended up being, like, an okay deck. Noodles got that, and that was a really strong deck. Royal Rebels got that, and they were a really strong deck. So it just goes to show, if you just get a really good skill, you can just be a really strong deck regardless, right? Bluetooth Burst Dragon, probably pretty good. Bluetooth is a weird one. Bluetooth Burst Dragon in the physical game was actually terrible until Lightwave Dragon came out, and then it suddenly became really strong. So if we get a skill that does something like that, it will be really good. I don't care, I'm going to play them either way, unless we get more Psychic support. I mean, we probably will get some fusion stuff for Psychics, right? Whether or not it's in the first box or like the second box. But most likely Limit 3. Bluetooth is a weird one. I don't know if Bluetooth needs to be Limit 3. Maybe it does. I think Jointech definitely does. I think the other 3 boss monsters probably don't need to be perfectly honest. Like, Bluetooth is good, but, like, it's not crazy. The skill for Bluetooth would be, like, Nail, so you can reduce attack. I was thinking something similar, but the question is, will you only do it to one monster? Because if you can reduce one monster by 1500 attack, like that sort of thing, then you could, like, use Bluetooth to pop, like, a Blue Eyes White Dragon, and that could be really good. And if you have it act like Light Wave as well, you could have it so it only reduces during the main phase. So you do it specifically so Bluetooth works. Right, well, Roman this time is looking very strong here. It's like fighting tooth and nail. Maybe the skill will be for level 7 or higher monsters so they can play around bosses. I mean, maybe... The other thing to take note of is that there is a Galaxy card that does something similar to Bluetooth. It's a level 4 or lower, so it's like a weaker monster. But it can pop a monster that has very low attack, but only if you have like another light monster on your field. So it's another way that you can use Lightwave Dragon. So if we did have that kind of skill and it didn't like lock you to only dragons, for example, you might be able to play that Galaxy card and get pops that way. It can reduce everything to 15, but the drawback would be you can only attack directly once. That's still pretty good though. It might also incentivize playing things like Stop Defense, and you'd be playing like a mini Royal Rebel deck, right? But I suppose at that point, it's like, why wouldn't you just play Royal Rebel? Because that deck kind of does that, but better. It's a hard balance to strike, I find. We do add the Prima Katana off of the skill. We are going to use Melody, which is to spin that defense mode monster. It's not going to be easy to lethal through this, but it is possible, especially if we have Tribute to the Doomed. Summon out the Candy. And another Candy. Wait, is this going to be like double Jamp Up? Double Jamp Up into double Prima would actually be insane. Okay, we're not doing that. We are going to tribute both. Summon out the Prima. This will let us out this board. This isn't, though... So it's all going to come down to this back row, I think. Because we go down to 27. If that back row's nothing, our opponent could build a similar board to what we've just built here. It's all going to come down to the draws, right? Obviously. But like, if we find Candy, this could be really scary. We are going to equalize life points, though. Right, what has Roman found off the top? Oh, that doesn't work because our life points are tied. No. Summon out Candy. So we did rip a Candy off the top. So that's really, really good for us. They always draw Candy. I don't draw Candy all the time when I play this deck. It's the reason I stopped playing it. I went several weeks of just playing nothing but Psychic. And I kept making like top 4 or like top 8 in events, and then I could just never do any better than that. And I felt like it was all just because I just kept bricking just all the time on this deck. And then I see people play like brickier versions with like 10 spell traps and like 5 boss monsters, and I'm like, you're literally playing more bricks in the deck, and yet you're bricking less. Very sad. Very sad. Right, so we summon out the Prima Katana. This ain't great. So we haven't got the Jamp Up to try and like push in for lethal. We obviously don't have check, otherwise we would have used it before we tributed. Set 2? Are we just going to push in for 700? No, we are going to pay the 1,000. We have to get rid of the Melody. We cannot let our opponent keep Melody. If this back row is torrential, oh, not torrential, Widespread are in. That is debilitating. That's just game, right? We make the level 4, level 5, put it back in our hand, spin the back row, and then we just win. That's just it. That's 2-0 then, right? That is just going to be game. Which means we will be having... I mean, we already knew we were having Psychic in the final, right? No matter what. Every time when I face it, when I clear their field, and the next turn, Candy. Yeah, it's an awkward one for sure. God, why are we spinning plates? We already have lethal. There is nothing our opponent could have to stop them dying. And yet we're still just, like, pressing buttons. Go it again. And then get it for that 24. Well, that is going to be Machine versus Psychic in the final. And this is actually a lot of Psychic in this tournament. Because previously, in the last week's Angel Cup, we saw no Psychic make top 8 whatsoever. So this is actually a pretty big shakeup. So now we just wait for the final game to start. It's a card game player's God-given right to BM when there is nothing the opponent can do. It's the equivalent of teabagging, right? Alright, well, when this game gets going, we will have, again, Machine versus Psychic. Westerner versus Easterner. Dwan versus Nano. I don't even know who Nano is, but they have won all of their games. 2-1, 2-1, 2-0, 2-0. Their first game was definitely free. After that, I think they've actually just been kind of lucky, to be honest. Like, their hands have looked pretty broken, like every game that we've been spectating them. I'll have to see where this goes. So who does chat think's going to win? I don't think there's a point in doing a poll. But who do we think is going to win? Do we think it's going to be Dwan? Do we think it's going to be Nano? That's the question. Thank you for the follow, Dragon. Welcome, welcome on in. Alright. Dwan versus Nano. Machine versus Psychic. We are about to kick things off. We've obviously got to be supporting our man Dwan, right? However it's spelt. Alright. So, Psychic player does win the coin toss, but that does mean Dwan potentially gets to make an Essel play. One back row. So we've got a T set. This is the GOAT special. We do have the big T. We do have one card stuck in hand. So that could be a tribute monster, or that could be a normal summon. Now, has Dwan opened the Essel? That's not an Essel. We are going to pop the back row. Oh, that is a big hit. It's very unfortunate. You never really want to open your legend on turn 1, unless you have, like, multiple back row. And even then, it can still get a bit spooky. So we're unbricking our hand. Tribute 2. Summon out the 25, and we do also have the 15. So this is the exact same open that Dwan had last time. And just, again, taking away resources from the Psychic player is always so, so important. And we did actually hit 2 Rhythmical, which is extremely important, because if those had plussed, then Dwan could potentially be staring down 8 cards instead of the 7 that Nano currently has. Or 6 that Nano currently has. So 6 cards. Our opponent has no face down cards, so if we wanted to make any kind of Melody play, we would have to use, or Rhythmical Performer. Are we going to hit a spell? We did not hit a spell trap. We hit our own legend, which is the biggest thing Rhythmical always seems to do, is it will undoubtedly hit something really important from your deck and something meaningless from your opponent. That is just how Rhythmical Performer always works out. Now, what is that last defense position monster? It could be a 1500. Yeah, it's widespread for me all the time. It just always happens. There's no way around it. Ooh, this makes me think we have 2 bosses in hand. So we're gonna have to pay the 1000. we can't actually clear... Oh, we can clear this board, and then we're going to have a boss monster stuck in hand. And that's kind of it. And we're losing 1,000 life points for doing so. Okay, well, things are looking pretty good for Dwan right now, then. Our opponent being bricked up is definitely beneficial. Let's hope Dwan draws something good here. Players choosing Rhythmical. So you hit Legend back row. That's cool. I'm sure that'll help in my games. Yeah, it's a weird one. Rhythmical is a really strong card. It's just like Sod's Law means it will always hit your good cards and just never get you a draw, and that's just sad. But a lot of the time, just putting a card in the graveyard is still fine. Are you sure you know what bricked up means? The thing is, in Rush, you have to think of it a little bit differently, right? In Rush, your objective is to get your hand emptied every single turn, right? So because of that, if you get any boss monster stuck in your hand and you're unable to get them onto the field, that is such a big detriment. Unless you're against Thunder. That's not what I mean by never mind. Are you talking about like the non-card game version of Bricked Up? Because that just makes it even funnier. So we add the Aim Eagle. And Aim Eagle is online. And we have the back row hate. That is so big. And it was check. Now, obviously, we'd rather hit, like, the slime. Because then we're completely fine. Oh, did we not have... we had to make the decision on whether we wanted the plus 1,000 or whether we wanted to end on the 1,500 attack monster. I think ending on the stronger board is more valuable. It's a shame we didn't get the plus 1,000, but, like... It is what it is. Crafter Drone just showing that he is inferior for being an earth machine. Alright, where are we going with this? We're going to normal summon out... Where are our candies? Is the other question. There's one of them. So that means now Jamp's start is turned on, if we have one in hand. Speak of the Devil. So we're going to put 2 cards back in deck. Probably a Prima Katana and a Magical Miracle would be my guesses. I'm pretty sure Maginical's in the bin. Yeah, because we used it to attack, didn't we? And there's Magical. Rhythmical. Okay. So we're not putting... Prima back in. We'll see if we regret that later or not. We gained 1,000 life points. Where are we going with this? Summon out the candy that we just added. Almost certainly using the skill. Now what? Now what are we doing? We still haven't used the skill yet. We've already used 1 Jamp Up, I think, and 1 Prima's in the graveyard, which means we should have at least 1 of each left in the deck. Or in our hand. Activate Shine. We have to target the candy. What are we adding? If we're adding Prima, I don't understand why we didn't put Prima back in the deck. There's no way we're playing triple Prima. Could be 2. I assume this is going to be Prima. Oh, we've got like 2 15s? 1 15. 1 back row. Oh no. So we had a boss monster in hand, but the boss monster on its own couldn't out. So we could have searched Jamp Up, assuming our set isn't Jamp Up, used it to get out the Prima with the boost, or not search the Prima at all. We could have summoned out what I can only assume is a Melody from our hand, cleared over one of the monsters, but then we'd have to crash 15 into 15. So this was the only way to full clear the board. It means that we had to leave a boss monster in hand, and we didn't get that bonus damage in. This is not ideal. It puts Dwan in a very good position, though. If we can deal with that back row as well. Looks like we might not be able to. So, Boltricorn, or Bicorn even. Effect, tribute it off to summon out Innovator. Where are we going with this, though? Activate Innovator. This doesn't look like it's going to be able to threaten lethal no matter what. Thank you, music, for just stopping right there. There we go. So we're up to 41. Summon out Avant Wolf. But as is, this has to crash. Essel. So we're going to go for the Essel direct attack. Putting our opponent down to 13. Leaving a 1000 attack monster on the field is not great, but again, we'd have to draw very well here. Assuming we have access to Jamp Up, we need to find Jamp Start or a Candy. Oh, and the Boltricorn comes down. This is a card. Not many people actually play Boltricorn in Psychics, and I don't understand why. Boltricorn plus check deals with all three back row. And it's so good. So I don't know why people don't play it in there. And we have the Candy. We just hard drew it. And we hard drew Maginical. We've hard drawn all three of these cards. This is such a good hand. Activate Maginical. This brings back a Prima. The issue here is we've just summoned out Candy. I suppose it doesn't matter, because if we summon out Melody, we don't need the spin. Like, we turned off the back row. So we're going to grab out the Jamp Up from the deck. Activate Jamp Up. Get rid of our Candy. Summon out Melody. Thank you for the follow, Suction Cutman. And the back row was checked. Which means the Boltricorn didn't matter. Boltricorn was just hanging out. He was just having a great time. He was just happy to be here. So this is going to be Melody. We can activate the effect of Prima, and we'll gain a grand total of 1800 damage. God, how much damage is this? This is what... It'd be really nice if the speech bubble would go away. So 45, 60, 73... 80, 91. That is so much damage. Unfortunately. Would it have mattered if we had set instead? We would have taken 1800 less damage. Yeah, so I think if we didn't summon out the Essel, we possibly live there. But again, we did have access to... We did have the slime, but we knew it was likely our opponent could out the slime. Like... There's no way they didn't have a Melody in hand with the way they were playing. It's awkward, because getting that damage in can be extraordinarily valuable and can win the game, but I think at the same time, leaving it in attack... I guess if you set it as well, you open yourself to just get... No, it wouldn't have mattered, because if we had set... It depends what the last card in hand was. Because we could have... If we'd set the monster, we could have had it spun by Melody. So then it comes down to, can we put a card back in our hand and then resummon it again. So, for example, can we put Prima back in our hand, spin the set monster? Ooh. What does this tell us? Is he bricked up? And that's why we're just happy to like throw a... Yeah, we're throwing a big guy in the graveyard. That tells me we have at least another boss in hand, probably. That is really big. So milling that many spells is obviously not ideal, but we can just bring back Esperard now. Mind you, it is machines. I'm trying to think if we've seen Dwan's Legend spell yet. Because a lot of players do play Shield and Sword, but just as many will just play Tribute to the Doomed. So that's a lot of damage on turn 1, down to 2,500. Dwan has been in this situation before, though, and managed to turn it around, so we cannot count him out yet. He does also have 7 cards going into this turn because he went first, and we did draw 2 spell traps. Right, this might be a long turn. We might have to really consider our options here. Our opponent's already milled a lot of spell cards, which means the likelihood of those back row being traps, or at least one of them being a trap, has got to be reasonably high. It's a tricky one. So the Essel play was obviously really good. Getting an Essel effect off is always really, really powerful. But it wasn't as, like, destructive as it could have been, I suppose. Like, if his opponent had opened the Essel plus, like, a Candy plus a Jamp check, and, for example, got to use the Essel on a Melody, this could have been so much stronger. Oh, there is check. So we had the check. Oh, we never got an opportunity to use it because we just did not have a normal. So we're really... It was really the not having Candy that really set this in motion. Because we could have gone Essel, bring back Esperard, summon out Candy, activate check, but we didn't have access to the Candy. Where do we go from here, though? Set a monster. Set another monster. We're just going to go for the 500 clear. No, we're going to tribute 2. Summon out Innovator. Innovator's effect. We're putting both of our weaker monsters into the graveyard. We do get to clear the whole board. We do leave our opponent with 1 back row. There's no delay. So what is that back row then? That could be start or it could be up. Realistically, it's probably one of those two. All the checks are gone and there was no delay, so it's probably not a trap card. It could also be a legend spell. No, we've used our legend spell as well. So that is a Jamp up or a Jamp start. Ooh. Right, we could lethal here. This could be game if Nano has opened well enough. Do we have the Candy? We have Rhythmical. That's not Candy. We're not getting a draw. But we do have the Candy. Okay, so we have found our Candy. This is potentially huge. So if we have access to Up and Prima, Prima comes out at 37. Then it can gain 6, which will put it up to 43, which is enough to lethal here. So if our prediction is right and that back row is Jamp up, this is just game. I think I'm dead. Yeah, unfortunately, I think you are as well, Dwan. So it's not Jamp up, but this is probably still lethal. Because we can still gain 600 attack on this Boltricorn, attack over for 300. We'll still gain 600 on this, attack over that for another 200. So it's about 500 plus the 21, so this should be just over lethal. Yeah, this is just over lethal. Did not need the Jamp up, which means that back row was almost certainly Jamp start then. Candy Never Fails. That Tribute to the Doom was devastating. I mean, it didn't help that obviously your opening hand was very rough, where you only actually got to summon one monster, because then Tribute to the Doom gets to do everything, right? Ah, that is a shame. That is a shame. It's a weird one as well. I feel... I don't want to be that guy, but I do feel like Nano, in every game we watched of Nano's, they couldn't help but draw absolutely cracked every game. Like, they just drew so well. But I suppose it is what it is, unfortunately. In a TCG, it is just going to happen, right? They are just going to get these one-sided blowouts. And so that is going to be it. We do have Nano as the champion of the Angel Cup 22 playing Psychics. Second place was Dwan playing Machines. And then our third place decks were Psychic and Ice Arc, with Psychic and SAR as our top 8. We'll ping Deku later and try and grab his deck to find out what the last one was. But already looking pretty cool. So I guess with that, we can go ahead and talk about the leaks that we got. That's the kind of the next thing on my itinerary. We'll come off this. So, if we head over to our leaks, I guess we'll just refresh this in case there's been any kind of update. So we have gotten some leaked cards. We have Godala, who doesn't love another kaiju coming out. I don't know if Godala changes anything, but it's cool. Can halve monsters' attack. That's neat. Then we have Printing Presser, and this guy's kind of a meme at this point, right? Printing Presser is a really cool... Printing Presser's kind of ass. We were kind of hoping that it would get, like, a skill to make it really, really good. Good job, Dwan. You fight well. Yeah, Dwan played really well. I made some mistakes, but it is what it is. Yeah, it is a shame. Is that badge? Did I watch near the end? Well, we've just finished up the tournament. We have about an hour left, so we're just going to be talking about the leaks. Then after we talk about the leaks, we will then be playing some speed. That's the plan. Is it Earth Machine? Yeah, but we need like a good Earth Machine skill, Sakuretsu, in order for Printing Presser to actually be good. Unfortunately, right now it's kind of trash. The main reason Printing Presser is good is because of its support. Its Spell Trap and Monster Support is actually kind of good, and it does get Effusion. So Printing Presser could be good going forward. We're really going to have to wait and see. As is on its own, it's not really going to accomplish much. We'll talk a bit more about this in a little bit, though, because it's a lot more interesting. The Fork Hawk is kind of its own thing. It's not really going to have any other support. It's a wind machine, which is a bit funky. But if we have 3 face-up machine-type monsters on our field, we send this face-up card from the field to the graveyard to change 1 face-down monster in your opponent's field to face-up attack position, which is really good because a lot of decks right now, a lot of machine decks outside of Innovator, and I guess you could also make the argument for Shield Boring Kong, they're not very good at dealing with set 3 monsters, right? So Fork Hawk will allow our other machine decks that can't play either of those to be able to get damage in, which is really, really important. So I would expect Fork Hawk to be seeing some play, and it does have a 900 defense, which is pretty good, right? That means against our opponent's piercing, such as, I guess, Innovator is going to be the big one, we don't take full damage, whereas we would if we'd have like a really low defense value. Oh yes, Fork Hawk, everything I ever wanted. I genuinely think Fork Hawk is fine. Especially, I would see this card seeing a little bit of play in the current version of Cyber Dragon. Right? I would play this in Cyber Dragon. Now, when we get Cyber Twin, when we get Cyber End, when we get more stuff in the future, probably not finding room for it. But in the current iteration, I think Fork Hawk goes in that deck. I will still play him because I can make him big. I mean, yeah, Printing Press is like fine. Again, we'll talk about him in a little bit. But then we have the Wave Scramble stuff. I mean, this is cool. You know, we got these 3, and so the 3 Rush Boys we see over here, Nail, Roa, and Yuga, were teammates during the Sevens Cup. So that's kind of a reference or an homage to that. You know, these are neat. We'll get some KC stuff. We have the Go Rush Countdown bonus, which we're obviously looking forward to. We have this, which is, you know, just a nice little Flash. And then we have the customize the home screen. This does let us know that we will get to flip around between the home screen and the dual world. So there were some people that were a bit worried about that. So this gives us some confirmation on that. And that's kind of it for the news. So we'll talk a little bit about printing press. And I want to talk about like what this card does. And we'll talk about some of the support cards because it is actually quite interesting. So in the top card of the deck to the graveyard, your opponent excavates the top 5 cards of the deck. Gain attack equals the number of excavated monsters times 100. So the maximum this can go up to is 28 and get a 500 boost. Chances are it's going to go up to 26 to 28. That's usually what it's going to be around probably. Then your opponent places the excavated cards on the bottom of the deck in any order. So they do get to choose the order, so that is something. But realistically, it's going to the bottom, and most of the time it won't matter. Stats are fine, right? 23 kind of sucks, but like it boosts, so it's kind of like a Sevens Roadie type effect, right? Except bad. But again, the reason this card is like somewhat playable is because of its fusion and because of its support cards. So this is what it fuses with. This is Scoop Scooter. Level 1, 0 attack, 200 defense, not really much here. Delivers the morning edition before breakfast, also delivers the evening edition before breakfast. So, neat. But its fusion monster is Newsflash, the Journalistic Juggernaut, which is really, really good, right? So, printing pressure on Scoop Scooter, send the top card of your deck to the graveyard. Your opponent excavates the top 7 cards of their deck. Your opponent places the excavated cards on the top of their deck in any order. So this is the top of the deck, so that's a big difference. Then we can make all face-up monsters on your opponent's field lose attack equal to the number of excavated monsters times 500. How the fuck does a scooter and a big van make that? Isn't it obvious? What don't you understand, right? This is a spaceship with a dragon head, a giant cannon in the middle, and a, like, lovely, ancient Japanese building on top of it. What don't you understand? Yeah, it's the Journalistic Juggernaut. But this card is really strong, right? Being able to reduce, a lot of the time, you're going to be reducing the entire opponent's board by like 2,500. And just minus 2,500 to the entire enemy board is actually insane, right? Yeah, I think maybe it's all of that. But yeah, it's cool. It's a cool boss monster. It's got decent stats. Its effect is actually really good. The hard part is always getting it out, right? We have to get out at level 8. We have to get out. This is kind of easy to get out. We have to find the fusion, then we get it out, and then it pops off, right? What I dislike is them being able to excavate on top, whilst I like press for going second place. Yeah. So if you don't kill them, could be hard. Well, yeah, you get to stack your opponent's deck, but if you think about it like this, chances are they're drawing 5 cards anyway, right? So you're giving them 2 extra cards to pick from. That's kind of how you should look at it. Because they're getting those 5 either way. So you're basically saying those 2 extras they might be able to get instead if they're better. Did Fusion spell change all materials to Cosmic Power Range Gun? No. Unfortunately not. Not yet anyway. 2 extra can be huge. It can be huge, but I think a lot of people will read the number 7 and they'll be like, no, that's absolutely... Also, since we're talking about cards, we'll take the chat off just for a minute. We can see what we're doing. Since it says 7, I think a lot of people see that and they go, they get to look at 7 cards, that's insane! And it's like, no, it's only 2, right? Only 2 that realistically matter. Do we know how they're going to be distributing Fusion yet, as in the spell? No, we do not know exactly. And we also do not know if we're getting Poly as a legend yet, right? We know that Polymerization is a legend. We don't know if we're getting it in Duel Links early. Everything is conjecture. Everything is speculation. We are just predicting that it would make sense, in my opinion, for Fusion to be given out as an event reward, right? As a, oh, we're counting down to Go Rush, get your Fusion spell. I think that is how I would do it personally. Whether or not they do that, whether or not they put it in the first box, whether or not they give it to everyone just as like a login bonus or something, we don't know. As for Polymerization, again, they could give it to us straight away. I would actually rather they not give it to us straight away. Isn't 28th for the Japanese event? Yeah, Tokyo Game Show, I believe, is the 28th, where we will be seeing more. Tokyo Game Show is where Cross Duel was announced. It's where Master Duel was announced. And something else was announced there as well. So, like, Tokyo Game Show is a place where Konami have done big Yu-Gi-Oh! Announcements in the past. Obviously, only for their digital games. So I expect to see something reasonably big then. but we should also probably have a few more leaks by then as well. Poly being a legend just sounds awful. Yeah, for the most part, people don't play it. Poly never really saw a ton of play, but if they add a generic skill that lets you search Poly from your deck to your hand, maybe there's something there. I'm just saying. We could see something. Yeah, Poly being a legend. Again, I don't really want it early, just because I like the idea of forcing people to use Fusion and just get used to Fusion and then giving them Poly and being like, oh, now that you've gotten used to that, here's another way you can fuse. I like the idea of that, but we'll have to wait and see what they should end up doing. So another support card we have is Reprinter. So if we have a face-up level 7 or higher Earth attribute machine type monster on our field, so 7 or higher Earth attribute, that's quite a lot. That includes like Jointech Rex, right? That includes just so many good cards. We can special summon a printing presser from your graveyard face up to your field. So we just get to cheat out our big boy, which is, you know, just nice. This turn, the monster special summon effect cannot attack directly. So it still can attack, just not directly. It can still inflict damage, and we could still fuse it off. So it's just a decent spell card if you're having the deck kind of go in that direction. Hope they release 7's Wonder Fusion and 7's Geas day one for game balance. Now, I know you're baiting, you're trolling, Chris, but like, I could not think of a faster way to speedrun the death of a format, you know? Like, I think the physical game went through a very rocky period where it actually probably had a drop in player base because of those two cards. So we'll have to see what they decide to do. Fusion at 1 copy would be awkward. No, so I don't think Fusion at 1 copy is what we want, right? We want Fusion at 3 copies. Unless someone specifically said somewhere else about that, which maybe they did. I don't think anyone said anything about that. Yeah, I think what we want is we want Fusion at 3 copies, and we want to just give them out in the same way that we had when Maximums came out. We got the Harpy Ladies, right? We got 3 middle piece and 1 of each of the side pieces just for free. I want that, but for Fusion. Give me 3 Fusions for free. And then maybe give us, like, I don't know, Gaia the Dragon Champion for free. But, like, that's a bit shit. That's probably going to be in the card trader when it eventually does come out. I don't know what, like, free Fusion you could give everyone that, like, is kind of just a nice separate thing that isn't completely shit. Like, maybe Ride Across Ash, but that has its own issue of now you need to have, like, the only people that could use that is people that bought a structure deck. So that's a bit weird in itself. You want to give people a Fusion that everyone can use, right? Just very easily. If they put Fusion at limit 1, though, they'd be nuts. Yeah, I could not see it going to limit 1. That'd be insane. This spell has synergy with the new Earth Machine in Cyber Dragon Structure. I mean, it does. We don't have this card yet, though, unfortunately. And it's probably, I would expect our Printing Presser to be part of the Wave Duel event, right? Since we have the Wave Duel Scramble coming out, it would make sense that these are going to be the rewards. Bloody mouse. These are going to be the rewards from the Wave Duel Scramble. That's what makes sense in my mind. Currybot Fusion. Currybot Fusion, potentially. The only problem with that is it's a box UR that was also in the selection box. So again, not everyone's going to have it. It would make sense to me to give people the Fusion material and the Fusion monster so that you can just play with it. And I can't think of any cards we've been given for free that we could just immediately fuse. Like, we've been given a Blue Eyes, we've been given a Red Eyes. They have fusions, but we don't have the rest of it. What they could do, potentially, is give everyone Meteor Dragon, and then give everyone, like, Black Skull Dragon. But that's a really shit fusion, because it's a vanilla made of 2 vanillas, and both of those vanillas are high-level monsters, so it's really not ideal. So I'm not sure they'd do that. Card Trader has 1 regular Rush card. Lamau, they need more there. I mean, it would be cool to see, but they're really trying to drip feed us these cards. There are so many bad Rush cards as well that could easily come out, and they're just choosing to not give them to us for some reason. I think they will add Gaia the Dragon Champion here. I mean, they definitely could do. But we'll talk about the next one. So this card is level 5. Now, that is the first thing to point out. Being level 5 kind of sucks. But it's 1600 attack, which again is not very good for a level 5, but it is better than 15, I guess. We can send this face-up card from your field to the graveyard. The special summon Printing Presser from your graveyard. So you'll probably notice we have lots of ways to just summon Printing Presser. That's kind of something that's just happening at the moment. Then we can add Scoop Scooter or Soul of a Reporter from the graveyard. So this is a way that just we tribute one monster, summon this, then we can immediately get back Printing Presser and Scoop Scooter, which is obviously our entire fusion. So now we just need the fusion spell and we are good to go, right? So like, it's okay. Seven's Paladin might be interesting with Seven's Road Sorcerer. So I think it will be. I don't think they'd give that to us for free though. I think that's a box seller, in my opinion. Summon them in defense. Yeah, but again, the whole point is to get out the fusion, right? The whole point of this card is to get this out. So summon them in defense doesn't matter if we're planning to fuse. Obviously, this doesn't have to summon in the defense mode, so that is something. And then there's the Soul of a Reporter this mentions, so we're going to talk about that as well. Soul of a Reporter. When an attack position monster on your field is destroyed by an opponent's attack of the card effect, special summon a Printing Presser or Scoop Scooter from your graveyard. It's like every single card in this mini archetype wants to special summon it from the graveyard. Report a raccoon? Yes, report a raccoon. Sorry, we report a raccoon. What's wrong, Sakadetsu? What the hell is this deck? It's a news deck. It's all about reporting on the news. But yeah, that's kind of it for that. We've basically just listed all of the Printing Presser support cards. That is it. That is all of them. Hello, Whirl. Yeah, the it's an okay deck, right? Like, it's not anything crazy. Newsflash has never like done anything crazy. But imagine for 1 second we get a skill with this. Imagine we get a skill that, like, I don't know. I don't even know what the skill could do. Just help us go into the fusion. Help us just find extra copies of the card. Because we don't really need an attack boost. Like, Printing Presser does that on his own. He's fine. We just want to get this out easier. That's our kind of goal. Where's my basketball? Well, first off, it's baseball, not basketball. But it'll come out soon, right? Theoretically, it should be out before the end of the year. We'll have to wait and see what Konami decide to do with it, like when they decide to give it to us. But like, that deck was also really strong. Like the Baseball Utopia deck was actually good for a long while. So I could see that being really, really good. So I guess the other thing we wanted to talk about, or we wanted to look at, was this. Let's pause the music. We had a interview with our world champion. So we were going to check this out real quick, in case anyone hasn't seen this yet. You have to let me know if it's too quiet or too loud.
Hey guys, this is Tom Box, and I am here with the Duel Links Rush Duel World Champion.
I want to watch this.
Marc-André La Douceur Kirkar, aka Quantum Cubes.
Quantum
He's so sexy
Cubes.
when he says his own name.
So first of all, congratulations for winning the entire event. Yep. How does it feel to, has it settled in yet?
It feels great. It feels amazing. Yeah, I've been working hard for this, and I'm glad it paid off.
So, well, tell me about this. You journeyed to, well, what is your journey like? Qualifying to compete in the WCS.
Yes, this is from MST.TV.
To, I guess, competing against all these world-class opponents. Like, what was that like?
Well, in the WCS, I figured I'd give it a try because I know Rush Duel is not as popular as Speed Duel, so it would have less competition, but it was pretty hard. So I had to switch deck in the middle to be able to compete with the best.
Were there?
So I'm curious what deck Quantum was using first, to be honest. Because we know that he got tips off of Giorfio, who like basically told him how to play Cyburst, and he swapped to that, and then basically managed to get, what was it? Because he was second seed. So he got second place in NA on the Cyburst list. I don't know what Quantum played before that. Possibly Machines, possibly Noodles, like who knows, but...
Are there any particular challenging moments in this event?
Yeah, facing the Noodles and the Royal Rebel decks, it took a lot of effort.
So I assume he's referring that to
So
like the qualifier.
Which decks did you bring to the world stage, and what made you decide on those decks?
Okay, well, there's 4 decks that are the best deck that everyone should have brought, but almost everyone did.
We all know these
That's,
4.
Psychic, Machine, Yggdrago, and Royal Rebel. Those are the 4 best decks, so you had to bring them. After that, the 5th deck, it's a wild guess. I did a lot of testing, and in my testing, the best deck was Dragon's deck. So I brought Buster Blader to counter it.
Oh, so you
Think he
decided
played
to make
Machines?
a bit
That would
of
make
a-
sense.
A bit of a counter call against what your opponent might be using.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds like a really good strategy. It definitely worked out for you.
Yep.
Now in Speed Duel, and also
It's still a weird one as well. I still stand by. I get the logic behind what Quantum was saying. But again, I guess what it really comes down to, because we've spoken to Quantum, and we kind of have his opinion outside of just this interview, right? We know that Quantum's logic was either my 5th deck is going to beat their 5th deck, or they're going to use their 5th deck earlier and I'm going to get a free win. And I think that is like an important distinction, because like you're not always going to get your 5th deck into their 5th deck, but you will quite often force them to use like their Blue Eyes deck or something early, and then basically say, well, I've got a really good matchup now because the 4 best decks obviously have a winning matchup into almost everything else.
Also in Rush Duel, just in Duel Links in general, there's the timer. Did the timer ever get to you and maybe you panic?
Increase the timer,
The only
Konami.
time I went to 4 seconds on the timer was
I
when
can't play
was
speed,
against
Konami.
Orfeo, and I was playing Psychic, and I had to find the lethal line, and I went down to 4 seconds, but I got it. So
That timer, especially when it's like beeping and flashing in front of you, it gets pretty stressful sometimes.
it's only the Psychic deck that you're gonna run out of time. The other decks are pretty straightforward.
That sounds good. Good game.
Yeah, everyone can agree with that.
So, can you tell me about what was your most memorable moment? And was it during the game, or was it like something else that happened?
My most memorable moment was when I lost to Giorfio round 1 and beat him in semifinal.
Yeah, he got
Oh, you got a
3-0,
redemption
didn't he,
arc
originally?
there.
So I got my revenge.
Perfect, perfect. And so let me ask you some other questions here. So do you play any of the other Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG games?
TCG game, I played the Rush game on Switch before Rush Duel came out to get to know the game. I played Master Duel when it came out, but then I'm too busy to keep up with both Master Duel and Speed Duel, so now I only play Speed and Rush.
I know that for sure.
And so
I
how
can't
does-
keep up with Master
how
Duel
does,
and
Rush Duel
TCG
compare
and
to,
Rush and Speed.
Like the Master Duel, Speed Duel. Like what's most captivating about Rush Duel for you?
There's no annoying cards in the game, like Floodgates.
No floodgates, not
Well,
yet.
there is in the
No
OCG,
floodgates
but we
yet.
didn't get it in the Duel Links, so I'm glad. And yeah, that it makes it much more fun to play. And there's a diverse meta as well.
Oh.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting. Guys, you can try it out yourself. And so right
It's a
now
diverse
you
meta,
are
yeah,
the world
for sure.
champion. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people would like to hear from you. So what's some advice that you can give them so they can play like you do?
To get good at Rush Duel, you must know which deck to play defensive against and which deck to play offensive. And always be mindful of how much damage you can take on the next turn.
All right. All right. So now that you've become the world champion, what's next for you?
Well, I'm gonna keep streaming Rush Duel and hopefully bring in more people to get more of a challenge. Maybe sweat more next time.
Do you wish that the Rush Duel also got like a physical card game companion
Yes,
to go with it?
give us the physical
everyone,
game.
is waiting for that. Everyone's saying we're finally gonna get the first English printed Rush Duel cards. So yeah,
Well,
it's a big deal.
Well, it seems like you're going to be the first one to own an English Rush Duel
Yep.
card.
Still doesn't own it yet,
Yeah, I
though.
can't wait. It
Well, it
looks
still doesn't
amazing.
own it yet.
Oh, definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
Still waiting for it in the
I
mail.
would like to say again, congratulations on your win, and hopefully this is going to continue. You're going to be coming back next year.
Yeah, I think I get an invite for winning.
Yeah, I believe so. I believe so. And well, you're going to be the defending champion coming back. All right. So again, congratulations. We are here with Quantum Cubes, and well, look out for this guy. And thank you again.
Thank you.
There we go. We'll slap that in chat in case anyone wants to watch it in their own time. But yeah, that was a nice little interview with Quantum. So with that done, I guess we're gonna go and play some Speed. Now, we are gonna say we're gonna be playing old Fluffle. And we're going to be playing on day 1 of the KC Cup climb. So we're expecting the better players to be playing. So we're not expecting to do well here. We're not expecting to do well. Birds. So we're basically getting the KC Cup climb. I need easier wins. Yeah, so we're not expecting to do well because, we have 2 accounts. So anyone that doesn't know, we have the Rush account, we have the Speed account. The Speed account has like full power Fluffles, right? We have all the stuff we need. We can like do stuff, right? The rush account is where we want the gems right now, because we have a new, like, world coming out, and we need to collect the gems. We don't have much to work with on here speed-wise, so we're just going to be kind of jumping in to the KC Cup with the old Fluffle deck, the old Fluffle Orcus list, and we are not expecting to do well at all. So we're just going to kind of hope that things go okay. The other thing is, we've opened several packs from the new Fluffle box, but we haven't really gotten anything from it. So, like, we've got, like, one Dolphin, and I don't know if I'd play one Dolphin in this list. One benefit of this, we need to collect gems, also shows you have 999 gems. You say that like 999 gems is enough, right? We need more than that. We need our inbox, our mailbox, stuffed full. The issue we're going to have here is just trying to remember how the heck we play this deck, because it's been so long. Right, we'll go dog. What does dog search in this deck? Oh, it's bear, right? It's always bear. Okay, I'm pretty sure we can get there with just this. So we'll go bear. We'll go about the vendor. Flip this over. I guess we'll summon out sheep as well. I don't know if we need sheep, but... Vendor, discard harp. Then we'll go... It's always just harp, right? What does harp get here? So we use that, we can get that, but if we use that, we do that. Okay, we'll go harp. Bring out skeleton. It's the only target for it. We'll then go ahead and make Galatea by using 1, 2. Do we use Galatea here? We probably don't, right? Because we go Nightmare. Doesn't matter what we boost. Send World Wand. We'll activate World Wand. Bring this back. Activate Galatea. Put this back. Grab out the Babble. Then... go 1, 2... Summon out Decode. Then we'll go Symbol. Bring back Galatea. Linking those 3 doesn't get me anything interesting. So we are, I think, just going to go for the ding. Patch skeleton. Flip over Babble. Pass. Alright. Hopefully this is fine. Hopefully this is fine. Same dude. I'm rocking it with 6 samurai right now. I'm currently 1-7. Ooh. I don't know how good old 6 Sam is. Cards are consonants. Okay. I start the full anime. Well, good for you. The start is full of anime noobs. Well, we need that. We need the leg up. Never mind, if you see the bracelet girls, you're in deep doo-doo. Yeah, I do not know how I beat any bracelet deck. Like, maybe we have to do, like, the ding engrave immediately turn 1 strat to beat bracelet girls. Which one's this one? This is normal summon. You can target 1 spell trap on your opponent's field, banish it. So this is the banish one. So I have to negate this. What? Why? Okay. I protect. Is that it? White Stone of Ancients. Okay, that's fine. No, no, we do not play. I literally haven't got it yet. Right, we'll summon out Dog. Dog effect. Are we just taking wings here? I mean, I could take this. That gets me that. I think I just take wings, though. Because wings will get me everything I need anyway, right? I don't even have to use the toy vendor, because I can just make this. No! Guys, we goofed. We goofed so hard. I had to use him. I missed it. We had it. We had the lethal. Now we might not have lethal. No, don't worry about it, guys. Don't worry about it. We're fine. We're fine. Yeah, sure. Go dig. Yeah, we are playing very badly right now, but I'm sure we'll be fine, guys. Don't worry about it. We'll just banish these two. Use the effective toy vendor. Oh, why? I didn't mean to do that either. Oh, we're throwing so hard. We're throwing so hard. I was just trying to click through things quickly. We ended up summoning that, which we did not mean to do, like, at all. Guys, don't worry. We're going to throw this as hard as we possibly can. That's the strat here. It's okay. It's okay. We're fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, guys. It's going to take us a while to de-rust. Okay, we're going to be fine. So we could do that. We could do that. We do that. We have to do that. We have to get that back in the bin. So we're going to do this probably by using this, and probably going to use this, right? We'll drop this here. Wait, what am I even doing? What am I even doing right now? Because now I can't do the other line I wanted to do. Don't worry, guys. I'm sure this is fine. I'm sure everything's just going to work out okay. We're in panic mode now. He's almost certainly got another monster in hand, doesn't he? Why do we send that to graveyard as well? What am I even doing? We are just like hardcore throwing this as hard as we possibly can. That doesn't even point down. That doesn't out that either. I can't get over how hard we've thrown this game. We literally had lethal, and we have just spun ourselves down into having nothing. Alright. YOLO this shit. We'll go Brute. We'll activate Brute. We'll discard. We'll target this. He'll discard a machine. Or a monster. Doesn't have one? Okay. We'll activate this. Target this. Can't do that. I'm a little bit panicky about the time, so we're just going to swing. You forgot to play Orcust? Of course! Of course we forgot to play Orcust. We've only got 4 seconds left. I think we have lethal. But, like, I don't think I can literally click the buttons in time. Because I'm just out of time. If we make it back to our turn, I think we just win though, right? If we make it back to our turn. Sword of Ancients. Oh, what dual level is this? We're literally right at the... Well, we're dual level 5. Dingirsu is the only way to deal with Wind Witch because Snowbound Fritz. You can... Stop playing with your food. I wish we weren't throwing as hard as we were, but this is our, like, D-Rust game. We have to remember how to play the deck. This was the turn of all time. This was, we're just going to keep spinning everything down until we have nothing left. Yeah, there's... I mean, again, I can react to this, but I will literally die to time if like, we toggle on. So we just have to let this happen. Unfortunately now he just normal summons Blue Eyes and we die. Alright, we'll just go next. Alright, alright. Alright, we'll try and not let that happen again. But again, we're still on the D-Rust stage. After a few games, hopefully we will do things quicker, not have to worry about the timers so much, and we won't just like start clicking buttons. Sora? No! Oh, okay, he's not playing, Why are we now... We weren't on a rank-up game last time, and now we are on a rank-up game after losing. Like, what the heck? This hand... Kinda bad. Not gonna lie. This maybe gets us there anyway. Out you come. We shouldn't need a discard, so I think we can actually just normal summon Bear here if we want. The only problem is it doesn't actually get us where we want to go regardless. I don't think Special Summon Sheep's going to do anything here. So I think we're probably just going to go straight in with Nightmare. Target this. Send Harp. Activate Harp. Bring out Symbol. Go for Galatea. So now we're going to go World Wand. Bring back Nightmare. Activate Galatea. Put World Wand back. Set a card. Set the Babble. We'll then go Decode. We go Skeleton. Bring back Galatea. Go into Dingirsu. Dingirsu effect. Attach Skeleton. Flip this over. I think we're going to get greedy. We're just going to hold these two in hand. Alright, let's see what he does. Never seen this content anywhere else. Wait, how are you only level 5? It started me on 10. So it works based on your rank. So we skipped a month of ranked. So we were at COG. After skipping... So after that rank, that season ended, we went down to Plat. And then because we didn't play for an entire month, we went down to Gold. So out comes Unchained Soul. End phase card was Grail because it was destroyed on the field and sent this turn. You can summon this card, so it's going to get brought back at the end of the turn. Why did we do that? In my mind, I was like, no, I don't want to negate. I want to use Dingirsu's effect. Maybe today is just not our day for speed, you know. It's going to take us a while. It's going to take us a while. We'll get there. We'll get there. Again, you got to remember, we haven't played this deck in like literally 3 or 4 months, right? We are 3 or 4 months out of practice. It's going to take us a while. And we have like next to no experience playing against Unchained as well. The Blue Eyes player with Trap Hole? The Blue Eyes player didn't have Trap Hole. So hello Icy, welcome, welcome. Right, now this is going to completely mess me up, right? Because it's non-targeting, non-destruction. Okay, it's just going to destroy. So we just use this effect, right? Should we just let it die? Is letting it die... it doesn't really make much difference, right? Because if it gets linked off, we just get to bring it out and pop it anyway. Okay, it goes into Anguish. I don't know what the guy he goes into's protection effect is. Does he, like, he comes back or something? So A-Bomb is... Top one color for destroy it. When another monster... Jeez, it just does everything, doesn't it? Okay, we'll let him go to battle, I guess. Legend of the Heroes, who's going to gain some life points. So I'll go Symbol Skeleton, bring back Ding, and since we're not destroying it, yeah, we'll use Nightmare here. I'm gonna send World Wand. Hey, there's Toy Vendor. Sure, we'll go Toy Vendor. I think we just win here, right? Yeah, sure, out you come. Use the effect of Toy Vendor. Grab Dog. Actually, we don't even need Dog, right? We can just take Sabers. Activate the skill. Send this. Special. Activate Sheep. Bear back to hand. Bring back Chain. Again, it doesn't really matter. I guess we'll link it to this. Out comes Brute. Edge Imp Chain. Search Fusion. Activate Fusion. Summon this out. Go into this. I don't know why we did that in that order. I knew what I wanted to do. Like, we have lethal anyway, right? But like, what I wanted to do was use World Wand. World Wand into Skeleton. And then link Skeleton off. But we didn't do that because we're stupid. But it doesn't really matter. We can just summon this. It kind of does matter because if I do that, I'd have to get rid of that anyway. Oh well, screw it. Again, we should have lethal anyway. I'm pretty sure we can't have anything to stop this. It's the issue of I always feel pressured by the timer to just play as quickly as possible. And that means I don't always get to think out my plays because I am a very stupid person, right? That's just how it always ends up happening. The guy just used Dogmatica Punishment on my Diamond Bell. Made with Snowbell. Reading is hard. Reading is hard, man. Especially when you're under timer pressure, right? A lot of people are just gonna like skim. Guys, all level 6, we made it. Now we make Wolf. You seen how many words those cards have? Yeah, some of those cards have just so many words, right? No new deck, disappointing. We're on the Rush account. I can only do so much on the Rush account. In fact, we're not playing. We're not playing a new deck. We're playing an ancient deck. We're playing a deck from like 3 months ago. In a way, that's more interesting, right? Everyone's playing the new decks. Where are you gonna go to watch fucking Fluffle Orcus? He wouldn't play a new one on the Rush account, Lamau. Right, the point is I have the option to. Right? On the Rush account, we could play a new deck. Right, we'll go Bear. Get out Vendor. Flip over Vendor. Activate Vendor, discard Wing. That's pretty good. Unfortunately, that's like the worst of the good cards. We'll have to see what we draw here. That's not ideal. That's okay. If we're normaling that, though, like, what is our other card going to be? Use that, discard that, normal that. We don't have anything to do off of it. So do we just have to pray that we get that? If we're not normaling that, we could just summon Dog and then discard that. I guess that's the line, then. Right, summon Dog. Oh, why did we click no? 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 Never punished! Go Toy Vendor! Yeah, we'll summon out this World One. We don't need this. Out you come. Is there any reason at all to summon that? No, there isn't. I think we're just gonna hold it then. So go Harp. Harp's gonna bring out Nightmare. I'm gonna make Galatea. I guess we're using both of these. Out comes Galatea. Then we're gonna go... I guess we're just using Nightmare here. Target Galatea. Send Harp to Grave. Then we're going to activate World One. Bring back the Nightmare. Then we're going to use Galatea to put World One back. Grab out the Babble. We'll make Decode. We'll go Skeleton. We'll go Ding. I think we're putting in attack mode either way. I don't think it makes too much difference. Patch this. Activate this. Pass. Alright. I'm ancient enough, that should be enough for everyone. I haven't played Rush in a while, so do you still avoid Tribute Summoning in turn 1? Generally, yeah, but it depends what your hand is. You could, but it's called the Rush account for a reason. WTF, someone unfollowed you. You had 460 followers. I mean, it's gonna happen. It's not a big deal. But following this logic, shouldn't place speed at all on the Rush account. But we want the rewards from speed. That's what it is. I see you. I foresee you. I haven't bought Rush packs to update my Harpies. It's just tickets and free packs. All right, where are we going with this? We bring that out. We're gonna make Super Dreadnought. But we didn't use Shari, so we're not getting the draw. We did use Uni, so it can attack directly. Goes for the Ikarura. 1, 2, 3. He's on the Eclipse. and not even play Rush for gems. I mean, I like both formats as well. I do really like this deck. What the heck is Ready for Victory? Can only attack once, right? Make him Rhapsody. Oh no, we're getting cheese OTK'd. How are we supposed to know we were against this? Bro, this is cringe. Okay. Thank you. Throwing? Bro, what are these games? If it's not me throwing, it's my opponent throwing. Why you negate? Why would I not negate that? Or are you saying that from his perspective? What is the characters have level up gemstone? It is the characters level up gemstone. Yeah, yeah. I don't know why people say Rush should have been a separate game. Just make a different account, so it's essentially a separate game. Why you negate? It's free attack points. Yeah, but by doing that, I get to pop his guy, and then I also have Ding Girsu in the graveyard along with Skeleton, which means as a quick effect, I can bring back Ding and have an interruption during his turn. Plus, Uni should be able to negate Decode, but Uni can't negate Decode there, right? Because let me double check this. No, he used Suship's effect. So he used the negate effect. That's why I was able to negate and destroy it, right? So he wasn't giving us attack points. He was negating us with his effect. So in response, we used our Decode Talker to negate Uni and pop it, and that was that. He wasn't using Rhapsody's effect to buff our guy. I'm reading the wrong effect. Okay. The point is, we still made a misplay in that game, and we still won. So we actually haven't had a misplayless game yet. All he had to do was not use his Super Dreadnought's effect, and he won the game. That's all he had to do. But he was like, ooh, I need to stop you for some reason. Another Japanese player. We're getting all the Japanese players today. Oh, is this actually going to be battling Boxer? No, it is not. Okay. 2 win streak, guys. Pog. Domain of we're against Gladiator Beast. Bro, I don't know what the hell Gladiator Beasts do. Not like now. I know old Gladiator Beasts. Right, we'll go Orchestrated Return. Go Edge and Persist. Send this and this to the bin. We'll activate Bear. Which gets us this. We'll flip over Toy Vendor. So we have to use this. How far does that get us? That gets us Galatea. And that's it. Ding Pass seems kinda terrible. But like, what else am I doing with this setup? The other hope is that we use Toy Vendor and sack into getting what we want. If we can guarantee the top card of our deck is a Fluffle, we get to pop off. Otherwise, we just do Ding Pass. I think we have to take the safer option, right? So we go Galatea. And then we just go Ding. Like, what else can we realistically do here? Like, it's awful. It's really bad. But, like, the other option was gamble and hope we get to basically do our full combo. But if we whiff the gamble, our play is literally nothing. Okay, this is... This one, like, stops it. Yeah, you cannot target Gladiator Beast monsters. Okay. What is happening today? What is it? What is KC Cups down in the dregs? Is just what? What is this? What is this? You'll be like, you'll go over and watch like Sean, and he'll be like, you know, dual level 18 or some shit. He'll be like, so I'm gonna do my sick Lyralist combo. I'm gonna do this. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. We're gonna do blah, 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 blah. And then you get into our games, and we're like, I'm gonna accidentally sack my whole board off into nothing, and my opponent's gonna scoop because reasons. And it's like, let's just keep it going. Let's just keep it going. Let's keep it going. Oh my god, I do not know what is happening, but all right. Let's see what Lucas has got for us. Playing Kaiba. So probably Blue Eyes. Guys, we're on a win streak. I don't know how we manage that. By the way, I would like to say we're not usually this ass. Like, we do still make mistakes in speed. We don't usually play this bad. Alright, well, Edge and Persist. Dump 1, dump 2. Normal dog. Dog effect. Please don't bail on me. Thank you. Grab bear. Activate bear. Grab vendor. Activate vendor. Use the effect. Discard harp. I mean, that's weird, but it kind of gets us what we wanted. Right, we'll go harp. Grab out Nightmare. Then are we just going with these for now? I guess. Go 1, 2. Into Galatea. We'll go Nightmare. Target Galatea. We'll throw World Wand into the bin. We'll go World Wand. Bring back Nightmare. Then here, I think we're probably going to use Sabers. I don't even need to. I've already got this. Like, doing that gets me extra body. The extra body doesn't actually provide any value. So I think we're just going to go Galatea, put this back. Just grab out the return. Then we'll go Decode. Symbol Skeleton. Bring back Galatea. Into Ding. Ding effect. Reattach Symbol Skeleton. Activate Babble. Pass turn. Right. Let's see what our Blue Eyes opponent has to break this. And let's hope we don't misclick everything into oblivion again. There is always a chance. MST. I almost don't even want to stop this, you know. I'm going to let it go through. I don't care. You can MST me, bro. Imagine, like, because if I negated that, or I prevented the destruction, and then he dropped, like, double Dark Hole, I would feel so stupid. Almost felt bad bullying anime decks with Windwitch. Almost. Okay, so we add MR. Activate swords. That's fine. We do not really mind the Swords of Revealing Light. Activate Monster Reborn. Target one face-up monster your opponent controls negate its effects. So it's going to target. So we're going to negate it. Is what I'm seeing here. So now he could bring out a Blue Eyes. If he wants to. And then I'll banish it. Or I'll send it to the graveyard even, I'll banish it. The Blue Eyes is going to come out. Do we even care about Blue Eyes? Do we just hit, like, one of the other cards instead? It's declaring battle. So I'm going to use Nightmare's effect. And target this. I'm going to send this. I think I'm actually going to have to send the Swords of Revealing Light here. As weird as it is. Hey! What if he drops 3 Dark Holes? Oh, imagine. At that point, I would still lose. I wouldn't lose because he'd have no cards left in hand. But I would at least feel like I made the correct play. Look at all those lovely rewards rolling in. Normally, our opponent using Monster Reborn would be really bad because something's going to happen to him, because Monster Reborn always has a downside. I'm waiting till you face off against the birds. Mate, I don't think we're going to hit the birds until we get to it at least dual rank 10. And we're not going to be streaming for much longer, so we're not hitting that today. So if you want to watch that, you'll have to come back on Tuesday. Oh no. No, I spoke too soon! I have jinxed it! No, 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 no! Alright. Activate the skill. Send this, we send this. We activate Bear. Flip over Toy Vendor, activate Vendor, discard. What does that get us, though? Because we want to normal that if we want to get a play going. I could do that. Use the effect, put that on top. Bring that back. But, like, what does that get me? I would lose my normal. Normaling that doesn't get me anywhere either. Whatever we take is probably just going on the top of my deck anyway. I think we're just screwed. I think we've opened too badly to be able to do anything here. Screw it, we'll take Wings. If I put this on top, I can special summon it out. No, I can't. Has to be this. We actually have another Fluffle Engrave. We do. Okay. So we'll go Brute. Activate Wings. Banish Bear. Unfortunately, that's as deep as we go. So our play is this pass. There were some cards we could have drawn to like really get us going, but we did not find them. Because the alternative was that we just normal summon out Skeleton alongside Sabers and just literally go Ding Pass. And I was like, there's no way we survive on Ding Pass. So I was like, we're going to take the risk. And the gamble didn't end up working out. I'm sure most of you know what I'm talking about. I know... Ra? I don't think Tomato wins this. I don't think Tomato wins this either. You know, I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure Brute Enforcer Pass is not a very strong turn 1, right? One of the benefits is, as far as I'm aware, Lyrilusk is like brain dead. Like it's pretty free to play. As in like not like cheap to play. Although it might be. But it's like no real thinking involved. Just click buttons. It kind of comes together. Now that, I could be wrong. But like that is the impression I've got. So to beat birds, you can't play a monster in attack with attack, defense with defense, and you have to have a way to non-target destruction remove. Yeah, so my ideal play would have been to get Ding into the graveyard alongside Skeleton and have Babble on the field. That way I have a non-targeting interruption that I could have thrown at him. But even that doesn't like guarantee it. Seven's reference because the Seven's world is like anime Monster Reborn. Well, it's probably because a catastrophe. Ah, right. We're talking about Seven's Monster Reborn, which can take away and give back memories. We're just dead, right? Are we spinning plates or do we not have lethal yet? It's got a 4 material. So that bounces that. Well, that just attacks me 4 times. Then we bounce with this. I feel like he had lethal and he didn't take it. Oh, normal. Activate dog. Grab bear. Unfortunately, bear isn't online because both my toy vendors are in the graveyard. Special sheep. Activate sheep. Bring back chain. Ensemble Robin. Okay. I'm not really sure what the benefit of that was, but that's fine. So I only have him in there, so I will now just activate Brute Enforcer. Sure, we'll just target that. Grab this back again. We'll go Orchestrate Return. Send this to the grave. We are just all out of gas, aren't we, here? We'll go Agent Sabers. Don't think it matters what we put back. Grab this back. What does this do? Cannot destroy battle card effects. Also, you take no battle damage. That's just annoying. How do I win through that? It's literally got to be thingy, right? We'll go 1, 2. We'll drop out the Phoenix for now. Use the effect of Phoenix. It's gonna bounce that. That's also fine. Now we'll go Nightmare. Send Harp. Although I don't think there's anything left for Harp to do, is there? You can use this now, though. So we'll bring this out here. Then I guess we're just going to use Fright Fur Fusion here. We can't pop those. We can still pop the back row. Then I need to save that as the issue. I need a third monster. I can't get to the third monster as the issue. Maybe it doesn't matter. No, it does. Right, we'll go Symbol Skeleton. Bring this out. Then we go for you, using you, you, and you. Summon out Orcust. Activate the effect. I do not have time to, like, read what he's doing. Add select to hand. Okay, that's fine. I can't do any damage! We cleared the board, though. You should have just tried to make bear and steel. I don't have that skill on. We've got the other skill. Because this build of the deck focuses on setting stuff in the graveyard and using Agent Sabers as an extender. It sucks that I can't do any damage to him, even if I get rid of all of his Lyralist monsters, though. But I think in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter, right? Because no matter what board I make, I can't kill him. Surely there's no way he can just not get lethal, right? Just a direct attack will kill me, right? The problem is this thing. Isn't this just like... Isn't Assembled Nightingale just completely cancerous to the game? Like... Right, correct me if I'm wrong, right? But like... Everyone hated the trap card from Shiranui that made it so you take no damage for the rest of the turn. Like, everyone fucking hates that card. Like, actually despises that card, right? I can get behind the reverse damage. I can get behind multi-direct attacks, right? I cannot get behind Waboku every turn. Because theoretically, this deck can just keep doing that again and again and again and again. So it's literally, you have to negate the effect as they use it in like the draw phase or whatever. I assume they can just do it whenever, right? Or like there's just nothing else you can do, right? You literally have to negate it during the draw phase, as far as, unless I'm missing something, like it was only a main phase effect or something. But either way, like again, I think the rest of it's fine. It's that. It's not being able to inflict any damage for the whole turn sucks, bro. It sucks. That's why it's the free card tomato, so they can nerf it later. I mean, it makes sense. The thing is, what do you even do to it outside of flat banning it? Because like one copy, I guess, but like that still gives you a guaranteed turn of being fine, right? Like again, how do you stop it? You can't Veiler it, right? Assuming you could do it in the draw phase. You can't Veiler it. So if you're going second, you just cannot kill them turn 2, unless I'm mistaken, unless I'm like missing something. Hope you don't plan to play this cringe deck, Icy. The thing is, I think if you're someone like Icy that plays like 6 different decks like throughout the month, I think it's fine to make it one of the ones you play, right? Droplets is a good shout. The only problem with droplets is it's so many resources, right? If you're going second and you have to use droplets in like the draw step or like the standby phase or whatever, then of your 5 cards, you've already lost 2 cards. So you've now got 3 cards to try and OTK your opponent, which isn't impossible, but it's not super free. Like it's a weird one. It's definitely a weird one. It's definitely a weird one. But that is going to be the end of the stream. We are already 12 minutes over. We have been doing this quite a lot recently. Although the games didn't go quite exactly how we wanted, we did make a few misplays. We are going to have growing pains. We are going to have to de-rust a little bit. Everything has been going like okay, right? So from that point of view, I guess we're just kind of chilling. We will be back again on Tuesday. And when Tuesday does come out, and Droplets is selection box exclusive, like Will just said as well, which is such a pain. Because Droplets is actually not a bad card in Fluffle, right? Because we have a lot of cards that we'll be sending to the graveyard anyway. I think we're just going to go ahead and raid into Sean. Sean is streaming right now. It looks like he's AFK at the moment, but that's fine. We will be, again, back on Tuesday. We will be playing more Speed. Unless something wacky happens and more Rush stuff suddenly happens, we will be playing Speed on Thursday. Either we'll be playing this account and try to climb, or if we already finished climbing with this over the weekend, we will swap over to the other account and play the other Fluffle deck and climb on Tuesday. That is the plan. But with that said, we will be, I guess there should be a Quantum Cubes tournament on, it looks like it's been posted already. So there's a Quantum Rush on, so we're playing that tonight. But thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.